Internet 942. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, April the 14th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Dallas Stars. Red Wings on XM219 Internet 929, Stars on Internet 928. 7 p.m., Florida Panthers face the New York Rangers. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Rangers on Internet 938. 7 p.m., Montreal Canadiens face the Chicago Blackhawks. Canadiens on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 934. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Utah Hockey Club. Preds on XM 220, Internet 935. Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the LA Kings. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 930. Kings on Internet 932.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I almost look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted to be the hero and those that just wanted to avoid making the mistake? I mean, was that plain for you to see that there were those that wanted the puck on their stick with the game on the line that could thrive under pressure, and then you had the opposite as well?
I felt myself in those moments there defaulting to the more defensive side of the game. And then I played with my right winger who I won 6 Stanley Cups with, Glenn Anderson. He was the kind of guy that was trying to, really drive hard offensively and take the game and try to score the winning goal. And we're on the same line. Maybe that the difference of us in our mentalities work perfectly. But everybody's wired different. Everybody's got fear, failure. The best have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to internalize those feelings, but you can't let them paralyze you. And it's for me, going into a Game 7, I allowed myself to visualize what if we didn't win, leading up to the game, and then slowly as you get closer to the game, you allow yourself to kind of push the negative feelings aside and you start to fill yourself up with all the great things that are going to happen and what you need to do to execute the game plan, and of course ultimately to seeing yourself holding the trophy. And as the game starts, all the negative and the positive go away, and then you drill yourself down into just executing the game plan, and you don't think about the what ifs and what should have been or what could have been. You just really kind of play in the moment. And I think trust becomes a massive word when you think about it. Can I trust each one of the players that are going out there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, April the 14th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Dallas Stars. Red Wings on XM219 Internet 929, Stars on Internet 928. 7 p.m., Florida Panthers face the New York Rangers. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Rangers on Internet 938. 7 p.m., Montreal Canadiens face the Chicago Blackhawks. Canadiens on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 934, Blackhawks on Internet 925. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Utah Hockey Club. Preds on XM220, Internet 935, Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the LA Kings. Oilers on Sirius
to pass over. That's broken up by Teuvo Teravainen. Big burly defenseman, but you never know it by the way he moves out there. Not going to bat that out of the air. This is settled outside of the net, and the Canadiens rip it around the boards all the way down the ice for an icing.
Well, the last couple of minutes have belonged to Chicago. They've had the better part of the opportunity. Sam Montembeault had to be sharp on a couple of net front plays, but it all started a few minutes ago with Caden Gooley with a tough pinch inside the Chicago zone. It ends up being a 4-on-1. That puck absolutely has to be finished off. Should have been a tie game for Chicago.
Christian Dvorak versus Connor Bedard on the face-off with 10:35 to play in the first. It's a 1-0 lead for Montreal. Habs win the draw. Struble lofts it out to center where Artem Leifshinov gloves it down. Now Bedard knocked free by Dvorak at center. It's played back into the Chicago zone. Leifshinov goes to the end boards with Anderson. Far side, it comes around for Alex Newhook. They'll play it around the boards. Demidov gets over to it. And now he'll pick it up in the corner. Flips it back for Newhook. To the line. Matheson. Looking across for Demidov on the far side. Couldn't connect. Here's Alex Carrier with a drive. That goes wide of the net. Now back behind the Chicago net. Far side, Ilya Mikheyev. Under pressure from Newhook. He gets that away back to the line. Good keeping by Matheson. Far side, Newhook with another shot. That one carries wide of the net. On near side, Blackhawks to center. Bedard, end of a shift. Pokes it in. Now goes after it on the forecheck. Crashes into Alex Carrier. And now Bedard goes off the change. 9:25 to go in the first. Shots 3-2 Montreal. Score 1-0 Habs. Suzuki tips it in from center. Connor Murphy goes back to get it for Chicago. Off to Louis Crevier. Up to center ice. Gooley fires it in. Around it goes for Murphy, far side. Back down low. Slavkovsky tried to curl that in front. It goes all the way back to the blue line. Hudson moves it into the near corner. Up it comes for Nick Foligno. Passes it back. Nudged over. Intended for Ryan Green. And as it goes over to the far side, Nick Foligno settles it down again. Crevier passing over to Murphy. Hawks having some trouble here getting out of the zone as Murphy sends a pizza out to center ice. Now it's brought back in though by Chicago. Here's Teravainen, tries it one time, but that's off the stick and out of play. And that will send us to our first break of the evening. Third shift in the National Hockey League. And Ivan Demidov sets up Alex Newhook from Yoel Army as well at 6 minutes of the first period to make it 1-0 Montreal on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
$1 wings, $1 wings, $1 wings. Boston Pizza has the ultimate lineup. During every Montreal game this season, our wings are only $1 each at Boston Pizza. Come in for some delicious wings, an ice-cold Molson, and a great game. Now that's a winning trio. Visit bostonpizza.com to find a Boston Pizza near you and reserve your table. Boston Pizza is the place to be. See details in restaurant.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere?
Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
When things start heating up on the ice, count on Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling to keep the temperature comfortable in every zone of your home.
Mitsubishi Electric, official heating and cooling partner of the Montreal Canadiens and your partner in home comfort since 1987.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back inside Bell Center, where it's a 1-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens. JP's only played 2:17 of ice time so far, but I think we got to bring this back to Ivan Demidov here. What have you thought out of the first few shifts of his Montreal Canadiens debut?
Well, a lot less jumpy than I thought we would have seen. You know, I've been in this situation before when you're on a brand new team or you get moved mid-year, and it's very awkward. You barely know the guys that you're out there with, and I'm not comparing myself to Demidov by any stretch, but I can tell you that the emotion that you're playing on, the energy that you're playing on is going to be enough to carry you through the game. But he is going to be gassed after the game this evening, both physically and mentally.
I've heard that Demidov has been called the JP O'Connor of the KHL.
Well, at least that's what I called him. That's what I left in his locker earlier.
Face up to the glove hand side of Sam Montembeault. It's one back by Chicago. Moved over to the far side. Down low it comes for Christian Dvorak. Able to get it over to Matheson. Looking for a way out. It's played to center by Brendan Gallagher. Here goes Anderson now on the attack. Trying to cut through the middle. That's poked away. And floated out to center now. Frank Nazar down the right side. He's a promising young player for the Blackhawks. As Bertuzzi snaps it over. Right back across. Alec Vlasic sees this carry around the boards for Teuvo Teravainen. Back to the right side. Sam Rinzel steps in. Plays it down low. Picked up by Christian Dvorak. And the Canadiens come out to center. Played into the Chicago zone off a body. Both teams are changing. 7:40 to go in the first. 1-0 Montreal. Vlasic to center. Shoots it in off the glass. Alex Carrier back to play in his own end. Line up the near side. Taken away by Evans out to center. Good play by Levchinov to break it up only momentarily, though. As here goes Line in on the left side. He's defended by Ilya Mikheyev. Blackhawks back ahead to center. Taken away by Mike Matheson. They'll hand it up the left side. Oliver Kapanen gets it over to Patrick Laine. Good move on Levchinov. Here's Laine passing over to the far side. Nobody home for Montreal. Now Matheson works it down low for Jake Evans. Around for Carrier. Up top, Laine. His pass is picked off. Connor Bedard waits and passes to center ice. Mike Matheson ranges back into his own zone to grab it. Another full line change on both sides. And yes, again, Ivan Demidov is evidently on the ice. Ambitious pass from Matheson, trying to find him. Here's Demidov in front. He scores! Первый гол в НХЛ. Добро пожаловать в Монреал. First NHL goal for Ivan Demidov. And it's 2-0 Montreal.
Bedlam inside the Bell Center. Mike Matheson had actually got his head up, tried to spring Demidov on a long pass. Goes off the back wall. Demidov catches up to it. It's a quick move to his backhand off a fake. Soderblom can't catch up, and he deposits it in the back for goal number 1 of his NHL career.
He has arrived.
Le but des Canadiens, son premier en carrière dans la Ligue nationale de hockey, compté par le numéro 93. Canadiens goal, his first NHL goal scored by number 93, Ivan Demidov.
First of many, as Chicago back on the attack. in the Montreal zone. It's left up top for Sam Rinzel. Off the boards for Nick Foligno. Played around to the right side. Blackhawks work the cycle. Savard steps into the near corner. With Nick Foligno, comes out to the far side for Nick Suzuki. Now Slavkovsky down the left wing, fires it wide of the net. Dvorak down low. Under pressure in the far side. 5:20 to go in the first. 2-0 for Montreal. 2 points already for Ivan Demidov. Here goes Josh Anderson through center. Shot off the far side is smothered by Soderblom, and he covers up for the whistle. 5:06 to go in the first. We need a break. We're going to get one. Back in a moment. 2-0 Montreal and Habs hockey on TSN 690.
Bell Pure Fiber is the technology you need for high-performance applications. It leverages light signals transmitted through optical fiber. It's capable of providing huge bandwidth, super low latency, and it's immune to electromagnetic interference.
Basically what he means is, it's incredibly fast internet. Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla. Get 500 for $70 per month. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Get ready for a night out like no other. We're the Party At Tour, starring Nelly and the St. Lunatics, Ja Rule. To everybody that be living it up, we said Chingy. I like the way you do that right there, and special guests. Taking over Bell Center on April 15th. Grab your tickets now at eventco.ca. Nelly and the St. Lunatics, Ja Rule, Chingy, and special guests bringing the party live.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Welcome back inside the Bell Center. There was a buzz entering play tonight. There was a buzz at puck drop, and it's only increasing as this game goes on, JP. Ivan Demidov is being introduced to this Montreal crowd, and he's getting giving off quite a first impression here tonight, 50 minutes in.
Well, you tell me, Victor. 2 minutes and 31 seconds on the ice, a goal, an assist, 2 points, +2. And I'm not a lip reader, but there was a holy F on the bench, I think, as I saw when they announced his goal.
Here goes Lane Hudson. Back into his own zone. Worked up the far side. Caden Gooley from center. Play deep into the Chicago zone. Vlasic ahead for Frank Nazar. Drops it back. Bertuzzi down the right side. Through for Nazar, but Chicago are called back for the offside.
It's a little bit of a sloppy play by Nazar. It was a great outlet pass through the middle of the ice. Nazar bumps it out to the wing. Just continues on. But there's a bright young star coming up for this Chicago Blackhawks organization, and Nazar, the Detroit native, 2 years at the University of Michigan. Got a goal and an assist against Winnipeg on Saturday night.
13th overall pick back in 2022. Talking with some folks around Morning Skate today, they've been really impressed with what Nazar's done since he's been called up this year. And he never went back to Rockford after being summoned to the NHL.
Listen, there's going to be opportunities for young players on this team, but you can see out in the ice even this early that there was no reason for him to be heading back.
Habs out to center. Here's Gallagher chipping it in far side. It rolls behind the Chicago net. Comes around from Mikheyev. Out to center. Gallagher played back off the boards. Flipped into the Montreal zone. This is going to be called an icing against the Canadiens.
It's only 5-4 in the shot department right now. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first period. But no question, Martin St. Louis looking down his bench and is much more satisfied with the start. It's been a real area of problem for the Canadiens, an area of concern as they get closer to the playoffs. And keep playing like this in the first period, they'll be heading off with a comfortable 2-0 lead.
Face off to the blocker side of Sam Montembeault. Chicago throw it around behind the net. Ryan Donato tries to sneak that through on the wraparound. Door is shut. And it comes back to the right side. Levshunov down low. Mike Matheson is there. Guides it over to Christian Dvorak. Backhanded out to center. It's picked off by Levshunov. And he'll skate in over the blue line. Connor Bedard now down the right side. Tosses it wide of the net. Far side boards. Played right through to Josh Anderson, and now that's lifted out to center by Gallagher. Wyatt Kaiser recovers for Chicago. 3:41 to go in the first. It's a 2-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens. Errant pass down the right side from Chicago. Well off the mark, and that's an icing.
Well, it's been all about Demonov to date, but this last shift out in the ice with Levshunov has been very impressive. Calm on the puck. You saw the hand skills at the blue line as he deked Brendan Gallagher to get the offensive zone at such a tender age, 19, second overall to the 2024 drafts. Very promising back end for the Hawks here, Victor.
Levshunov just the second, or check that, third teenage defenseman in the last 30 years with a multi-point game for the Chicago Blackhawks. There's Adam Boquist and Henry Jokiharju in that class. And here's Nick Foligno shooting it off the boards out to center. Newhook picks it up, passes back to the Montreal zone. Line through for Ivan Demidov, fires a shot that just barely missed the far side post. So Line out with Demidov for the first time tonight. Here's Demidov behind the net, looks out in front, just missed Alex Newhook. Struble from the line, Demidov shot, and that went just past the glove hand of Arvid Soderblom. Took a deflection on the way. And as Demidov passes back into the Montreal zone. Chicago into their own end. Valeno guides it over to the far side. Big hit from Caden Gooley. And everybody piles in off the far side. Nick Foligno got rocked by Gooley almost right in front of the Chicago bench. And everybody is in the mix now. Foligno wants a piece of Caden Gooley. And this is taking quite some time to break up. Here we go again now as Jaden Struble gets into it on the far side. Got a hold of somebody over there. That's Joe Valeno.
Yeah, Valeno.
And they're finally broken up as Gooley gets away from Nick Foligno.
Well, it was a poorly timed hit. That's what starts everything. Gooley steps in at the blue line and just dumps the Blackhawk player. And you know that the captain, Nick Foligno, is going to come flying in as he blindsides Gooley. Gooley's heading off, as is Foligno.
Foligno's going right down the tunnel here for Chicago. Or maybe not. He started down the tunnel, and now he's going to the penalty box. It's 2:44 to go in the period. The officials are having a conference in front of the table. Here's the official call.
The penalty is on the play. Number 21 for Montreal originally gets a 2 minutes for interference and a 2 minutes for roughing. Foligno, 17. Chicago gets 2 for roughing. We get a power play, 2 minutes for Chicago.
There you go. Chicago power play. A pair of minors assessed to Caden Gooley. We're going to take another break here. With the score 2-0 Montreal on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Whether it's the electrifying saves of a goalie, the versatility of the forwards, or the brute strength of the defenseman, each player has his own style of dominating the ice. You can expect the same from Ford. All electric, hybrid, or gas engine, the power you choose reveals your distinctive drive. Quebec Ford dealers, proud partners of the Montreal Canadiens.
It's time to make some noise and cheer on your favorite team. Because whenever the Canadians win, you win with the 3 for $3 offer at KFC. A delicious way to savor victory. KFC, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Some conditions apply. Valid the day after Canadians win. Minimum additional purchase of $1. Offer only valid at participating restaurants. Canadians Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back inside the Bell Center, where the Chicago Blackhawks are going to the power play. Habs Pedal the Kill is brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling. In the heat of the game, control the temperature in any room at any time.
Hawks coming into this game with a pretty decent power play, all things considered. 24% on the year, one for 2 last game against Winnipeg. Canadians have not conceded a power play goal in their last 4.
Connor Bedard leads this Chicago power play with 10 power play goals on the year, but they do have power play goals from 11 different players on the Chicago roster. Here's Teuvo Teravainen to start us off. Hawks set it up. Out in front, there's a shot for Rinzel. That's blocked by Matheson and cleared down the ice. Now Sam Rinzel starts ahead to center. He'll drop it back. Connor Bedard over the line with Teravainen. Nazar right side. Passes down low for Bedard. Back to Nazar. Drops it for Bedard again off the right side. Out in front, Nazar fans on the shot. And David Savard off the glass. Looked like Nazar stepped on the puck on the far side. Fell down as here goes Bedard. Back down the right wing with a shot. That one snapped just wide of the net. Now to the point again. Rinzel. Far side. Teravainen passes down low. Out in front for Nazar. Cannot connect. Back to the line. Rinzel passing over. It gets through for Connor Bedard now on the far side wing. 55 seconds to go on the minor penalty. Rinzel up top. Long range shot got through. That's stopped by Montembeault. Now this is finally pushed out to center by Montreal. Blackhawks quickly back over the line. Here's Bedard. Looks off to Nazar. Passes across. There's the shot. Bertuzzi scores. Bedard starts to play on the zone entry off to Nazar, and then Tyler Bertuzzi puts it home for a power play goal to make it a 2-1 Montreal lead.
Well, it's a quick neutral zone regroup. Canadians were trying to make a change, and that puck comes out to Bedard. And as you mentioned, Victor kicks it out to Nazar. Nazar spots, Bertuzzi coming in on the left-hand side. There's his 23rd goal of the year as he tucks it the short side, goes crossbar and down.
That's 5 20-plus goal seasons for Tyler Bertuzzi. His career best is 30 back in 21-22 at Detroit. He's had a nice season in Chicago despite not having a lot to work with here. So a minute 16 to go in the first period. That puts a little damper on things here for Montreal. They are up after all, though, still 2-1. Chicago to center. Here's Ilya Mikheyev. He'll shoot it in. Side of the net. Quick cover by Sam Montembeault as he freezes that for the whistle.
Well, it's an awkward bounce coming off the back wall, and that's exactly what you want to see with Sam Montembeault. No need to try and play that with his stick coming in on his blocker side. It's an awkward play to make, so just reaches round, and he'll take that face-off over to his right. Nick Suzuki's out in the ice to take this. Suzuki has not lost a face-off this period, 4 for 4.
Blackhawks are not a great face-off team. Their best face-off taker is Jason Dickinson at just under 50%, and he is out for the season with injury.
To make that 5 for 5 for Suzuki.
Blackhawks at center. Mikheyev lays it down the right side. Ryan Donato with a shot. That goes wide off of Mike Matheson. Back up high now. It goes for Sam Rinzel. Here's Mikheyev with a one-timer. That's stopped by Montembeault. That was dangerous. As the Canadians start to head to center. Shots 9-5 here for Chicago as Caulfield backs into the Chicago zone. Now goes behind the net. Out in front. Slavkovsky puts it wide back in for the goal crease. Nick Suzuki couldn't find the mark. Put that right through Soderblom and wide of the net. Now Slavkovsky far side tries a shot. That's muffled by Alex Vlasic. Now Suzuki passes into the slot. Carrier with a shot. Good glove save by Soderblom as he hangs on with 18 seconds to go in the first.
That puck comes out to Slafkovsky, and it looks like he's going to get a chance on net, but you can see the reach with Vlasic at 6'6", just closes the gap. But then it continues on. Nick Suzuki catches it in the back post. No idea how this one doesn't go in. It actually goes through Soderblom's legs and out the far side. Canadians would have loved to see that one go in with 18 seconds left here in the first.
Face off to the glove hand side of Soderblom. Alex Newhook on the ice with Laine and Demidov. Off the face off. Canadians win it. Here's Laine with a shot. That's turned aside by Soderblom. And played back down low where Connor Murphy steps in front of Demidov. Comes over for Laine again. Drops it back for Matheson. And this is trickled to the net. Soderblom keeps it moving. And a good play there as that's going to kill what's left of the first period time-wise.
Well, it's just a terrific decision by Soderblom. I think everybody thought he was going to hang on to it. Instead, throws it in the corner. Just a couple of seconds left, and that kills it. Canadians with a tremendous start, led by Demidov. Spirits dampened a little bit at the end of the period as the Blackhawks find a way back in 2-1 after 1.
6 minutes in. Alex Newhook from Yvonne Demidov and Yoel Armia. Then Demidov does it himself. Assisted by Mike Matheson, and then Tyler Bertuzzi on the power play from Nazar, and Connor Bedard completes a 3-goal period in the first. 2 points on 2 goals for Yvonne Demidov, and the Montreal Canadiens shots 9-7, Chicago after 20. We'll take a break. Coming up on the other side of the commercial, it's the first intermission roundtable on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
The Morning Show with Connor McKenna and Sean Starr. It has everything you need, from Starr's eternal optimism to McKenna's unbridled honesty. Don't miss the 3-star quiz at 7:30 and the very best hockey insiders, including TSN's Darren Dreger.
What is the next phase of this young man's career? Maybe it's right before our eyes.
Wake up with a Morning Show with McKenna and Starr. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on TSN 690.
We all have the same goal, to be environmentally responsible. That's why Rio Tinto and the Montreal Canadiens are teaming up. We're replacing 1.5 million single-use plastic cups at the Bell Center with cups made with infinitely recyclable aluminum from Quebec. And the low-carbon aluminum we use for the cups is made by Rio Tinto right here in Quebec. It's a sustainability slapshot. To learn more, go to riotinto.com.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Beer, chips, popcorn. Score big at your neighborhood Voisin without missing a second of the action. Stock up on game day essentials before the puck hits the ice at Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Voisin, whenever you need us.
Bell Pure Fiber is the technology you need for high-performance applications. It leverages light signals transmitted through optical fiber. It's capable of providing huge bandwidth, super low latency, and it's immune to electromagnetic interference.
Basically what he means is, it's incredibly fast internet. Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla. Get 500 for $70 per month. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Ah, spring. Ready to start your spring organizing? Create space in your garage, closets, and basement with Depodium Mini Entrepot. Try 4 weeks free. Details at Depodium.com. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
At IGA, we help you save with our new Verified Prices promotion. Every week, check the front page of our flyer to discover our offers. Enjoy the lowest prices on selected products or automatically receive the difference in Scene Plus points. It's guaranteed. No proof required at checkout. IGA. Peace of mind is everything. For a limited time at participating stores. Details in the flyer and at IGA.net.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Tonight is Ivan Demidov has arrived. He is on the ice. His first shift is a Montreal Canadien. You didn't need me to tell you that. Flashed out the left leg. As here come the Canadiens over the line. Ivan Demidov down the left side. Into the Chicago zone. Demidov down low. Centers! Scores! That did not take long. Third shift in the National Hockey League. And Demidov sets it up for Newhook. And Montreal grabbed the 1-0 lead. Mike Matheson ranges back into his own zone to grab it. With a full line change on both sides. And yes, again, Ivan Demidov is evidently on the ice. Ambitious pass from Matheson, trying to find him. Here's Demidov in front. He scores! Вот это! Первый гол в НХЛ! Добро пожаловать в Монреал! First NHL goal for Ivan Demidov! And it's 2-0 Montreal! I don't know what to say. Welcome into the first intermission roundtable here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. Your Montreal Canadiens have a 2-1 lead after 20 minutes against the Chicago Blackhawks. And let me get to that scoring summary that you just heard, called by our very own Victor Finley. Alex Newhook's 15th of the year, first National Hockey League point, a primary assist for Ivan Demidov. Yoel Armia picking up an assist there, and Ivan Demidov replying just about 7.5 minutes later, his first in the National Hockey League. Mike Matheson with the assist on that one. Tyler Bertuzzi responding a minute 20 before the end of the period. Frank Nazar and Connor Bedard with the assist on Bertuzzi's 23rd of the season on the power play, and that is how we get to you here on the first intermission roundtable. I'm John Still with JP O'Connor, and JP, I got a lot of funny texts on the group chat about putting money on Ivan Demidov anytime goal scorer tonight. Cash out, gents. Not too shabby as Ivan Demidov gets his first assist and first goal, 2 points in that opening period. And he is the story, JP. How do you look to you?
Well, how can he not be the story here? He would have been the story, all game, even had he not, scored. But what a debut. Just an incredible display by Demidov. And there's two things that I look directly to. And the first is the broken play that ends up being the Newhook goal, is the confidence that he has on the wall from static. He's stopped to take that puck and challenge you one-on-one. Ordinarily that is maybe a rim to the far side of the ice, maybe trying to get it up to the point and not getting it off your stick because you don't want it, but it's probably a smart play to make. And instead you can see the confidence and the surge, and then as he gets the defenseman in front of him, the lateral movement was really impressive, takes him down to the goal line and then just finds Newhook in the slot. And then the second, the goal that he ends up scoring, it's I know it's a play, okay, because you can see Armia, who's swinging back up the ice, actually skating back towards the Canadian zone. But Demidov is gone. He's trying to stretch the ice. And good on Matheson for trying to hunt him down and seeing if he can spring him. But Demidov just continues on, and it's a quick little stick fake, gets Soderblom to commit to go to the ice. And then, again, another lateral move. I think it's the lateral movement that stood out most for me in that period. But confidence, no doubt, skill set is at this point, I think, is unquestioned. But for the Canadiens and for all the Canadiens fans and for the NHL fans, it's good to see this guy here. This is not video anymore. This is seeing him live. And looks like he's got the goods.
And you see that lateral movement on both goals. One to the left, just to set up the lane for Newhook, and then the goal. I don't know which one was more impressive to you, but as soon as the puck goes off with the boards, for someone who's never played here at the Bell Center, you've heard people talk about how important it is to go into practice and test out how things are going to bounce here and there. He just knows it's coming out to him, and it's not even a question of taking that shot. I'm taking that extra touch, putting it to my backhand, and that's kind of the thing that's stood out in that first period for me is that there was not even close to a lack of confidence from this young man whatsoever. He just came here to play hockey, and he's just playing hockey the way that he normally does.
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the broadcast, I said that, that Chicago and the way that they're playing and the fact that they've got a young group out there, it's not the team that the Blackhawks want to have. It's a team that they have now, but they're obviously in full development and rebuild mode. But, that in all likelihood, there was going to be situations that arose that would allow somebody like Deminoff with his skill set to expose guys, and we saw it in spades in the first period. The last thing that I think merits mentioning is I'm sure that St. Louis has pulled him aside and said, "Listen, just go out and play. Go out and play. You don't know anybody's name. You don't know anybody's last name. You certainly don't recognize them in their gear, so don't sweat it. Just go out and play. Enjoy yourself and see what happens." And for guys like that, if they can go out and just be a little bit loose, then the skill usually shines through.
Well, he knows how to swear in English, as we saw that after the assist and the goal, after hearing the noise in here. Some holy bleeps coming out of Monsieur Ivan Demidov. The other one I wanted to get to, JP, just before we get to our out-of-town scoreboard, is the Canadiens left some openings there for Chicago in that first period, and a better team than Chicago may have been able to make them pay. What are you seeing from Montreal in their overall game after 20?
Well, listen, there was two plays in particular that stood out the most, right? And it's probably the ones that you're thinking of, too. There was 2 3-on-2s that developed, but they were fully broken plays, okay? And those are going to happen, and you're going to have odd man situations. You're not going to make it through a game without an odd man situation. But what I liked about the Canadiens is in that opening sequence, there was more times than not where they had at least somebody back in a solid defensive posture. And, you can go out and you can play games, but if you're not learning from those mistakes that you make, then shame on you. And I think what the Canadiens have gotten back to, at least early in this first period, is committing guys above the puck. They're reloading. They're making sure that their posture is sound. It's not taking away from their offense. It's not taking away from their chances. But it makes sure that when there are those breakdowns and when there are those turnovers, which are going to happen, they happen all the time, but at least that they have numbers there to support the defenseman.
JP, thank you.
You got it.
First intermission roundtable coming up next here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. Canadiens up 2-1 over the Blackhawks after 20.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
You're listening to the home of sports in Montreal. TSN 690, CKGM, and iHeart Radio Station.
There's nothing like Hockey Night in Montreal. See the Habs live at the Bell Center and be part of the NHL's most electric atmosphere. Don't miss out on the action. Visit Canadiens.com/tickets today. Delmar, a globally integrated, technology-focused logistics solution provider, backed by 60 years of expertise. Experience the power of bringing simplicity to your supply chain with Delmar. Visit DelmarCargo.com. Delmar, logistics made simple.
The biggest Latin music festival in Canada is back. Fuego Fuego, May 24th and 25th at Montreal's Olympic Park. Don't miss reggaeton legend Nicky Jam, Mexico superstar Peso Pluma, El Alfa's final show in Canada, Puerto Rico's icon Wisin, Venezuela's rising star Danny Ocean, and many more. Join the fiesta and heat up your summer with 2 days of non-stop Latin music, the best international food, and Montreal's unbeatable vibes. Tickets on sale now at festivalfuegofuego.com.
For over 10 years, Novo has teamed up with thousands of employers to establish high-performance OHS game plans. We excel in our field by providing top-level, comprehensive, and integrated occupational health, safety, well-being, and human resources services. Being part of your success is our greatest motivation and pushes us to innovate every day. Together, we are creating healthy, dedicated, and safe workplaces. Novo is a proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Let's get you your out-of-town scoreboard here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. Canadians have a 2-1 lead over Chicago after the first period. Your out-of-town scoreboard brought to you every Montreal Canadiens broadcast by the good people at CM Textiles. Experts in motorization and wireless technology. 4 stunning showrooms for you to visit. Do it once, do it right with CM Textiles. 5 other games going on around the National Hockey League tonight. The Red Wings, they may be eliminated, but they're putting up a fight. They have a 2-1 lead over the Stars after 20 minutes. Rangers also donezo, but they're 1-1 with the Panthers. Utah facing the Preds in just about 10 minutes time. Tonight at 10 o'clock, a bunch of injury news for the Edmonton Oilers. Will be a first-round preview between them and the Kings at 10 p.m. And then it is the San Jose Sharks versus the Vancouver Canucks. Macklin Celebrini making his return to BC. That one getting underway just after 10 p.m. Second intermission coming up next. How many more points for Ivan Demidov? Already 2 after 20 minutes as we return to your broadcast as the Montreal Canadiens have a 2-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks after 20 minutes here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite pho shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Export, Ultra, XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
$1 wings, $1 wings, $1 wings. Boston Pizza has the ultimate lineup. During every Montreal game this season, our wings are only $1 each at Boston Pizza. Come in for some delicious wings, an ice-cold Molson, and a great game. Now that's a winning trio. Visit bostonpizza.com to find a Boston Pizza near you and reserve your table. Boston Pizza is the place to be. See details in restaurant.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Looking to update your home decor? Start with MF Paints. For your kitchen, living room, bathroom, patio, you'll want to paint it all. MF Paints, 100% Canadian-made paints and stains. Preferred by professionals and DIYers alike. Available throughout Quebec at your local retailer.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Welcome back inside Bell Center. We're about 40 seconds away from the start of period number 2 between the Montreal Canadiens and the Chicago Blackhawks. Shots 9-6 Chicago after 20, but the score 2-1 in favor of Montreal. Victor Finlay with JP O'Connor. Boy, buddy, how do we follow up that first?
Now for my encore. Right? What can we do? Let's remember what the end game here for the Montreal Canadiens is, though, is that you get those 2 points and you punch and take it to the playoffs. For as exciting a period as we saw from Demidov, who's starting this period out in the right wing right now, it is still to get those points to make sure that the season continues.
He's back with Yoel Armia and Alex Newhook here. We saw Laine with Newhook and Demidov late in the first as Martin St. Louis continues to juggle around that line, as he said he would this morning in his media avail. Face off at center ice, and Ryan Green wins it back for Chicago. Played into the Montreal zone. Struble up the far side to the line. Rinzel holds it in. Glove down, carried out to center by Yoel Armia. Armia under pressure. Taken away and brought down the near side by Green. Back to Vlasic. Swung in behind the net for Oliver Moore. Takes a shove into the corner from Jaden Struble, and Foligno steps right in there. He is the bodyguard for these two youngsters, Oliver Moore and Ryan Green. As Foligno into the far side, cycles it around. Lane Hudson steps in front of Green and passes it back. Lane Hudson and Ryan Green, both now alum of Boston University. Ryan Green just the other night, captain of BU in their national championship final bid against Western Michigan. Came out on the short side of that game as the Blackhawks have sent this down for ice. That was also a game, JP, that included Jack Hughes, the son of Kent Hughes.
It did. There was Jack had been at Northeastern and made the transfer over to BU, and geez, that BU program has been stacked. The whole Boston area has been stacked. BC has been tremendous the last couple of years. Cam Fowler here joining the Montreal Canadiens organization. But when you think of Hudson and Celebrini and Tuck was down there as well on that squad.
Luke Tuck.
Yeah, yep. Luke Tuck, exactly.
Canadians off the face-off. There's a shot from the line, off a body in front. Soderblom never saw that. Chicago clamber ahead to center. That's played back into Blackhawk territory. And back to the neutral zone they go. Ryan Donato skates it in. Tries a shot. Good stick from Mike Matheson. Breaks that up. Now Slavkovsky down the right side. Passing over Matheson. Trying to feed that off to Nick Suzuki. That's broken up. And now Yuli Mikheyev skates ahead with Connor Bedard over the line. Delayed offside. Mikheyev can't touch it. Now Alex Carrier snaps it through center, connecting with Caulfield. Slavkovsky to Caulfield, back up high. Lane Hudson along the blue line. Stops, passes off. Here's Caulfield with a shot. Rattles off the stick of Soderblom. And around to the near side boards. Cycle behind the net. Artem Levshunov. Nazar up to center with Teuvo Teravainen. Tips it over for Bertuzzi. Back over to Nazar. Tries a shot. Can't get that through Gouli. Centering feed goes into the slot. This is controlled by Levshunov. And the puck comes out to center where Levshunov is on it again.
That's some impressive puck movement by Chicago early in this period.
Now here goes Tyler Bertuzzi. He cannot get to the puck as Montembeault gets there first. Fires it up to center. And now here goes Dvorak deep into Chicago territory. Tried to center it. Goes off the foot of Wyatt Kaiser. Near side, Dvorak centers. Now here's Anderson in front. Loses the side for Gallagher, and he stick checked at the last second. Cannot get the shot away. Levshunov skates it in. Cross ice feed. Gets away from Joe Veleno. And now kicked back into the Chicago zone by Lucas Reichel. There goes Schlaggert the other way. Into the offensive zone for Chicago. Rinzel powers it wide. Comes around the boards. Up to center. Laine is tied up. And we got a whistle here.
This looks like it's going to be a hand pass.
3:10 expired in the second period. 2-1 Montreal.
Brendan Gallagher with a golden opportunity that was developed. That puck comes out to Josh Anderson. Anderson actually tries to bring it to his backhand, but realizes he's not going to be able to slide it past Soderblom, and already committed hard to that right post. And Anderson seeing if he could find Gallagher. Gallagher just a fraction late to find that puck. That would have been an easy tap-in.
Blackhawks win the face-off at center. Sam Rinzel fires it in. Comes around the boards for David Savard. Now played around for Laine. Up and out to center ice. Carried in by Evans, but he's called for offside.
Kapanen just in front of Evans as they finally get a hold of that puck. Patrick Laine checking his stick, and he's got an incredible curve on his stick, Laine. I mean, it really is the quote-unquote shooter stick that he's got. It's like a wedge there and a big hook, but makes it difficult for Laine to control that puck on his backhand.
Neutral zone face-off here. Evans, Kapanen, and Laine remain on the ice for Montreal.
20 goals in 50 games. I think we can give him a pass on that.
I would say so. JP is Alex Vlasic passing over to Sam Rinzel. Trying to pivot around to center. This is caught by Joe Veleno. He'll feed it off to Schlaggert in on the right side into the Montreal zone. Tied up with David Savard. Schlaggert jams it loose into the corner. Lucas Reichel sends it around the boards. It comes over to Alex Vlasic. He'll snap it back down low. Reichel there to receive it. Carries to the near side. He's body checked in the corner by Jake Evans. Struble gets it loose. Played ahead for Oliver Kapanen. Up to center. And he'll float it in as he took a hit from Alex Vlasic. Sam Rinzel rushing ahead for Chicago through center. Pretty good wheels here. Off the far side, Rinzel to the net. That's covered up by Montembeault with 15:46 to go in the second. JP, I don't know about you, but Sam Rinzel has made a pretty strong first impression here for me.
Yeah, he's still sitting on that first goal, or it's only his 8th NHL game, but 20 years old. I mean, he's just a baby out there. But when you see that raw skill, when you see the acceleration coming through the neutral zone, that's got to be something that Hawks management is really excited about.
Rinzel out of Chanhassen, Minnesota. 2 years at the University of Minnesota. World Junior Gold back in 2024 as a teammate of Lane Hudson.
He's looking out and seeing his pal Ryan Moore, who played at Minnesota as well, former teammate.
Faceoff goes back to Levchinov at the line. That's flown wide of the net, comes back out to center. A lot of college kids on the Chicago team. A lot of them are young college kids, and almost all of them have connections to Lane Hudson one way or another. And as this is flipped into the Montreal zone, Mikheyev goes back for it. Plays it around for Kaiser. Up top for Bedard. Into the slot. Swing and a miss from Ryan Donato. Fan on the shot. Harvard graduate Ryan Donato goes into the corner. Comes out to center ice. And it's collected by the Blackhawks. Donato carries it back in, far side. Plays it in past Mike Matheson. Carrier there to grab it. Back up the wing. Glove down by Nick Foligno. Tried to carry it through into the slot. This gets away. And the Canadiens fly it out through center. Now Louis Crevier back up the boards for Foligno. Into the attacking zone. Ryan Green carries up the near side. Shadowed by Lane Hudson. Puck goes behind the net. Foligno tried to center it. That gets through for Juraj Slafkovsky, who's there to pick it up and rattle it around the boards. Comes back into the corner. Down low for Nick Foligno. Off on the near side. Oliver Moore makes a move on Mike Matheson out in front of the net. Moore dribbled that just wide. He can really fly, Oliver Moore. As Nick Foligno handles behind the net. Given some trouble by Lane Hudson. Hawks keep it in down low. Foligno looks out in front. There's a great chance for a Green. That's blocked by Juraj Slafkovsky as the half lifted out to center here under pressure. 14 minutes to go in the second period. 2-1 Canadiens. Nazar skates right past Lane Hudson. Out in front. Teravainen the shot. Shoulder save by Sam Montembeault. Hawks keep it moving. Into the slot up top. Vlasic. Far side pass. Teravainen back over to Vlasic. Down the left wing. Carries in behind the net. Slafkovsky harasses him on the far side. Gooley picks up the puck. Trying to play it out off the boards. He'll lift this to center ice.
That's the defensive play you want to see out of Slafkovsky on Vlasic as he closes down, kills the play in the corner, and allows Gooley to get on that puck.
Played all the way down the ice into the Chicago zone. This is going to be an icing as the Blackhawks have really started to mount some good pressure. The best pressure we've seen them have all game so far, JP.
Well, in the first period, we mentioned a couple of shifts where they were really snapping the puck around, but what we saw there is just the overall skill level of some of the young kids out there. But I want to come back to Nick Foligno on that last shift. It all started with him down in the corner, some physical play, wins a few battles, buys himself a little bit of space, and then that puck gets snapped around. He makes a real nuisance of himself net front as well.
Ozone face-off for Chicago. Montreal claimed possession, and Caden Gooley feathers it round the boards out to center. Levchinov quickly over to Kaiser. He'll play that in. Montembeault from behind the net. Passes off to Gooley. Towers one out to center ice. Kaiser goes back for it under pressure from Newhook on the forecheck. Demidov in behind the net as well. And it's played right away to Nick Suzuki. He'll send that behind the net. Demidov in front for Nick Suzuki. And that's put just wide of the net. Suzuki far side. Under pressure, Mikheyev takes it away. Out to center. He'll rip that cross ice. Canadiens back into their zone. Alex Carrier moves out to the far side. Nick Suzuki's been out there almost 2 minutes. Hawks have it in the attacking zone. Far side corner. Lucas Reichel knocked down. There's going to be a penalty here. 12:19 to go in the second. Montreal up 2-1. But Chicago with all the pressure, and they're going to go on the man advantage. Mike Matheson to the box.
Montreal 8, minor penalty tripping.
Habs to the penalty kill when we return to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Whether it's the electrifying saves of the goalie, the versatility of the forwards, or the brute strength of the defenseman, each player has his own style of dominating the ice. You can expect the same from Ford. All electric, hybrid, or gas engine, the power you choose reveals your distinctive drive. Quebec Ford dealers, proud partners of the Montreal Canadiens.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Simplify the optimization of your supply chain with Delmar. For almost 60 years, Delmar has provided integrated solutions with innovative technologies, transforming logistics challenges into effortless experiences. Visit delmarcargo.com to connect with an expert. Delmar, logistics made simple.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Welcome back inside Bell Center. Habs to the penalty kill, presented by Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling. In the heat of the game, control the temperature in any room at any time. 2-1 lead for Montreal. Chicago are 1-for-1 on the power play already tonight, JP.
Well, Mike Matheson just tries to kill that play in the corner. A little bit slow to react as the Canadians sort things out in their own zone and goes in, makes the initial contact with Reichel, and Reichel spins off him as he starts to skate up the boards towards his own blue line. Matheson just gets a stick on him, and Reichel goes down, so it's a tripping call for Mike Matheson.
Face off to the glove hand side of Sam Montembeault. Face off goes to the far side. This is gloved down by Tyler Bertuzzi. Now collected by Frank Nazar. Behind the Montreal net. Over to Bedard. Up top. Sam Rinzel. Over to Bedard. One-time shot. That snaps the stick of Josh Anderson. Blackhawks left side. Rinzel with a shot. That goes high. And a good break for Montreal. It's out of play. And that'll allow Josh Anderson to get a new stick.
Well, that stick just shattered in his hand. It was a one-timer coming over. And Josh Anderson taking a quick look. I wonder if he's maybe got some carbon splinters that made it through his glove.
Oh, yeah. Jim Ramsey is
taking a fast look.
A bit of a look, yeah.
Yep, just making sure. Josh Anderson's going to head off on this. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. The sticks explode on you at times. Sometimes they can be really resilient, but other times that just hatches you in the right spot and the sticks in a million pieces.
Blackhawks win the face-off. Right side, Bedard. Up top, Rinzel. Left side, Tyler Bertuzzi. Switches with Teuvo Teravainen. Up high, Rinzel. Over to Teravainen. Back to Rinzel. Tries a wrister. That's blocked in front by Nazar. And goes over to the corner. Gooley passing off. Down low with David Savard under pressure. Good play by Nazar. Gets it back to the line. Rinzel over for Bedard. Bedard turns around. Defeat it down low. Back out in front. Hanging on to it. Teravainen passes off. Bedard passes again. Rinzel far side. Good play by David Savard. Breaks it up on Bertuzzi. And here go the Habs out. 2-on-1 to center. Far side. Joel Armia takes the shot. That's stopped by Soderblom. And back in behind the net. Armia gathers it. Lays it round the boards. Gooley with an aggressive play. And we got another penalty upcoming. And this will be against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago number 59, minor penalty for hooking.
Tyler Bertuzzi goes off for hooking with 41 seconds left in the original power play. We'll go 4-on-4.
David Savard draws this penalty on Bertuzzi. It's just a one-on-one battle, but you can see them getting tangled up. David Savard is off balance, and it ends up being a 2-on-1. What ended up looking more like a 3-on-1, but it's Yoel Armia, who collects that puck, comes up the left-hand side of the ice. It's a right-handed shot. He's got a good angle, but it's there that you see the problem with Armia right now. No strength in his hand. That shot that he delivered on net, you'd normally see him blow it past the goalie or at least get all kinds of velocity on it. You just don't see it at all right now with him.
I've set up 4-on-4. Here's Newhook up high. Has Demidov on the ice. Newhook works it down low. Demidov behind the net. Pressured by Wyatt Kaiser along the near side boards. Demidov shakes him off in front. There's the shot for Carrier. That's turned aside. Carrier goes to the far side with Levshinov. Back to the line. Struble. It's fed over through into the slot. Here's Carrier with a shot. Blocker save made by Soderblom. Now Demidov off to Carrier right side. Back to Demidov. Stick handles down the right side. Carries in behind the Chicago net. Sharp move. Nowhere to pass though for Demidov. Now he'll offload to the line. Here's Lane Hudson on the power play now. Far side shot is fanned on. Another try for Hudson. That's turned away. 5-on-4 for a minute 4. Presented by Florida Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Mike Kaiser tries to flip it out. Glove down by Juraj Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky drops it back. Now passes off right side for Demidov.
Hawks are a tired group.
Here's Hudson up high. Demidov back and forth with Suzuki. Here's the shot from Nick Suzuki. That's stopped. Demidov in behind the net. Back to the far side. Laine with a look. That's caught by Soderblom. And he'll hang on with 34 seconds to go on the minor penalty to Tyler Bertuzzi.
The puck is just following Demidov all over the ice this evening, and he's more than happy to hang on to it. And we've seen some great creativity out of him, and it ends up making its way over to Patrick Laine off a Demidov chip on his backhand. Laine ordinarily is looking to go under the bar with that, but instead tries to go far side, see if he can catch Soderblom as he's going to ground, but Soderblom's able to glove that puck.
Blackhawks win the faceoff in their own zone. Played around to the near side. Squeezed along the boards by Caulfield, who's now on the ice in place of Demidov. Looking to pass through for Suzuki. That's picked off and thrown down the ice by Ilya Mikheyev. Habs circle around in their own zone. Here goes Lane Hudson up to center ice. And way offside, Laine was ahead of the play on the left side.
It's always the little moves at the blue line that end up getting you. Patrick Laine trying to make a burst of speed over that blue, and Lane Hudson just at the last moment, just a little bit of a shoulder shake, and it's enough to pull Laine offside.
Neutral zone face-off. Second unit now on the ice for Montreal. It's, in fact, the Dvorak line with Matheson and Carrier at the point. Just 9 seconds here to go in the power play. Carrier, right side, shoots it in. Rides around the boards. Back into the corner. Josh Anderson picks it up. To the ice is Tyler Bertuzzi. Shot from Matheson gets blocked. And now here goes Nazar down the far side. In front for Bertuzzi, and he can't get a stick on it. Almost had his second of the night as Gallagher goes the other way. Right side in the Chicago zone. Tried to toss that in front. Picked off by Vlasic. Now tipped down the ice by Brendan Gallagher. Right to Sam Montembeault, who will move that aside for Mike Matheson.
Well, we've seen that play happen twice this evening, haven't we, Victor, for the Chicago Blackhawks on 2-on-1s. Plays to the back post. It should have been tap-ins. Bertuzzi just not able to get a stick on that.
Here's Bertuzzi down the far wing. Tried to throw it across. It's taken away by Jake Evans. Skating down the right side. Throws it ahead for Laine. Deep in Chicago territory. Evans behind the net. Tried to center. It goes through for Ryan Donato. And the Blackhawks toss it out through center. Lane Hudson sets up shop behind his own net. Passes off down the far side. Kapanen could not get a touch on it. And as a result, it's an icing with 7:55 to go in the second period. The Canadiens remain in front 2-1.
It's been a little bit of a quiet night for Lane Hudson, hasn't it? His game is always solid, but what you like to see with Hudson is, as he continues to get all of these new toys around him, is how is he going to be able to integrate Demidov into the equation when he's out in the ice with him? They look like two guys who will have instant chemistry.
Face-off blocker side on Montembeault. Habs dig it loose off the boards. Out to center ice. Laine with a backhand through for Kapanen. Bouncing puck goes all the way to the far corner. Move down low, past Levshinov. Behind the net. Wyatt Kaiser starts ahead to center. Passing through. It's shot in by Mikheyev. And now Mike Matheson up to center ice. Slavkovsky down the right wing. Move to the backhand, and Soderblom makes the save. Wasn't sure he had it when he's able to squeeze this for the whistle. 7:19 remains in the second period of play. It's a 2-1 lead for the Canadiens on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
There's nothing like Hockey Night in Montreal. See the Habs live at the Bell Center and be part of the NHL's most electric atmosphere. Don't miss out on the action. Visit Canadiens.com/tickets today.
Your date just asked for your Wi-Fi, but you have cable internet. Don't panic. Remain calm and reply with, "Darn, I forgot my password." Or, "The modem is at the shop." The modem shop. Or simply, "Internet. What's internet?"
Embarrassed by your internet? Just switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's most trusted internet. Visit bell.ca to check availability. Bell. Internet just got better.
Miss the good old days? Of course you do. Winnie's on Crescent has always been the place to cheer on Montreal's hockey team. Come enjoy pub fare before, during, and after the game. Who knows who you'll see? Winnie's Bar and Restaurant, 1459 Crescent, winniesbar.com.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
7:19 to play in the second period. Montreal up 2-1 just prior to the break, JP. Nice little chance there for Juraj Slavkovsky coming down the right wing.
Well, it's good to see Slavkovsky with a little bit of confidence on the puck, I think, at least, because you do see him kind of revert back to firing that puck, and instead just drops his shoulder and uses his body to shield the puck, fires it in on his backhand, and Soderblom had to make a save, but it was a much more difficult save than it looked as that technique that he falls down into there. It almost snuck past him on the near side post.
Face off to the glove hand side of Arvid Soderblom. He's only faced 10 Montreal shots tonight. He's had to make some pretty good saves here, despite having an .800 save percentage with the 2 goals against.
Well, he's got line A with 3 of those 10.
That is rarely an easy save. As Demidov steps in to take the face-off for Montreal. Take it away. Newhook almost slipped that out in front for Joel Armia. Instead carried to center by Lucas Reichel, who rockets that around the boards to the near side. In front of the Montreal net. It's handled by Joel Armia. Off to Newhook. Back over to Gooley into the corner. Under pressure here. Looks ahead. Off the boards. Out to center. Connor Murphy. Moves it across. Louis Crevier shoots it in. Puck comes over to Lane Hudson. Back to the far side. Gooley. Tried to lob it to center. It goes right to Nick Foligno. Now settled down off the far side by Lane Hudson. Gooley. Off the boards through center. Here goes Slavkovsky. Far side. Newhook. Throws it round the boards. Comes right over to Oliver Moore. Tried to chop it out. He can't. Slavkovsky, cross-ice feed. Redirected to center by Ryan Green.
More sirens were ringing as he got filled in the first period. It was going to be the exact same play. He had his head up very quickly, making sure that he didn't get run over again.
Here goes Ryan Green out of St. John's, Newfoundland. And he's back behind the net. Montembeault. A bit of a bump from Oliver Moore. There's going to be a penalty on this as the Habs carry it ahead to center. Here goes Cole Caulfield down the right side. Skates into the corner with Vlasic. Loose puck is touched. And the Canadiens are going back to the man advantage with 5:51 to play in the second period.
Chicago 11, minor penalty, tripping.
Oliver Moore goes off for tripping, and it's a Montreal 5-on-4 when we return to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
When you
don't choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
When things start heating up on the ice, count on Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling to keep the temperature comfortable in every zone of your home.
Mitsubishi Electric, official heating and cooling partner of the Montreal Canadiens and your partner in home comfort since 1987.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite pho shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Export, Ultra, XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Back inside Bell Center. Habs going to the power play presented by Port of Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. 2-1 lead already for Montreal with 5:51 to play in the second.
Well, this is a tough one for the Chicago Blackhawks, and especially for their young guy, Oliver Murrow, who's in the penalty box. It's a nothing play. He just goes in, and it's a quick slash, seeing if he can get a puck there, but ends up right in the back of Sam Montembeault's heel, puts him on the ground. So these are the tough ones to defend.
Habs are due for power play goal. They almost kept it right off the face-off. Slavkovsky nearly poked that between the wickets on Soderblom. Instead, his stick breaks, and the Blackhawks clear it down the ice.
They got tangled up in front of the net. It's an unusual spot for that stick to break, about 6 inches from the top of the stick.
Now here goes Lane Hudson. Passing through center for Patrick Laine. Down the far side, he gives it away to Nick Foligno. Foligno has Mikheyev. Into the attacking zone, Mikheyev to the backhand. Big toe save from Sam Montembeault. Now the Habs the other way. Slavkovsky, far side wing. Looks to drop it off. He's under pressure. Foligno tried to knock it away. Another stick goes for Slavkovsky. That's 2 that he's broken. As the Hawks clear it down the ice again.
That's a quiet $800.
Out in front, here's Teravainen, shot, and that goes off the crossbar. Back the other way, Demidov streaking in, past the cross, that just missed the mark for Newhook. Demidov far side, drops it for Suzuki. Down low, Gallagher. Suzuki up top for Matheson. Suzuki far side across. Demidov looks back over. That goes off a body. Suzuki to the blue line. Matheson, Demidov, one-touch pass. Suzuki's shot not stopped by Soderblom. Back in front. Gallagher tried to put it home. Sprawled out. Trying to make a play on it in front. Chicago moving to the far side. Still not out. And now it squeaks to center ice with 18 seconds to go on the minor penalty. Demidov throws it in. Around it comes for Newhook, far wing. Up top, Matheson, dying seconds of the power play. Matheson, far side. Suzuki, Newhook, one-timer, big glove save from Soderblom. Now caught by Demidov to the line again for Matheson. Steers it to the far side. More darts out of the box for Chicago, and we are even strength 5-on-5 again with 3:40 to play in the second. 2-1 the score, Montreal. Habs to center. Brought back in by Chicago. Here goes Mikheyev at the middle. Sprawled out. Got the puck on net. There's going to be a penalty call against Montreal. And they might be lucky that's not a penalty shot. Mikheyev had a partial break on Montembeault when instead the Blackhawks are going to the man advantage.
It's Alex Carey who reaches out. It was a sprint from the red line. Carey just gets caught the wrong side of it, reaches in, and I'm with you, Victor. This is very close to being a penalty shot.
45, minor penalty for tripping.
So Carrier goes off. And the Blackhawks who are 1 for 2 tonight. Go back to the man advantage. What an opportunity, too, JP. Short-handed for Teuvo Teravainen alone in front.
Well, it was actually Hudson who had gone back against the back wall to pick that puck up, and he gets knocked off it, and puck squirts right out to the high slot to Teravainen, who makes no mistake, beats Montembeault, but just can't beat the crossbar.
Blackhawks win the face-off. Far side comes through. Nazar with a shot, and he scores! Frank Nazar with a bullet. 6 seconds into the Chicago power play. He has tied this game at 2.
Well, there is number 11 on the year for Nazar, and there's no hesitation at all. This puck just comes from the far board over to Nazar, and he's ready to go. Leans right into it and tucks it short side under the bar on Montembeault. Just can't catch up. But what a delivery from Nazar.
He had 11 goals in 21 games in Rockford this year in the AHL. Now that's 11 and 52 with Chicago in the National Hockey League. 2 years at the University of Michigan. In his debut last year, late in April against the Hurricanes. Matter of fact, scored in that debut. He's a good-looking prospect right now.
Oh, he is.
Blackhawks.
He's riding a bit of a hot hand. Had a couple of points in the win against Winnipeg on Saturday as well. Just continues it on here in Montreal.
1 goal and 1 assist versus the Jets. 3:09 to play in the second. Back in the Chicago zone. Here goes Oliver Moore, scampering ahead to center ice. Carries in over the blue line. Hands off Murphy. Long-range shot is blocked by Caden Gooley. Battle behind the Montreal net. Moore plays it around. Crevier out in front. There's a shot for Ryan Green that's blocked, and it comes back out to center ice. Blackhawks corral it in their own zone. Crevier through center. That's tipped in by Green. No icing. Caden Gooley passes off. Up to center now. Down the right side. Here goes Josh Anderson skating in on Wyatt Kaiser. Kaiser stays with him along the boards. Back into the near side it comes. Gallagher tried to pass it out in front. It goes back to the line. Lane Hudson with a shot. That's deflected wide of the net by Gallagher. Now far side. Struble throws it over. Lane Hudson passes off. That just missed. That was Dvorak creeping in on the back door as Slager tries to throw it out to center. This is picked up by Levchinov, and he'll skate it to the neutral zone. 2 minutes to play in the second period as Reichel in on the left side. Low shot kicked aside by Sam Montembeault. Back up the near wing. Habs throw it out to center. Rinzel lets it go back into the Chicago zone. Almost too many men there for the Blackhawks.
Just late change by Levchinov.
Alex Vlasic down the left side. Charging in behind the Montreal net. Over for Mikheyev far side. Down low for Donato. Crafty pass in front. That's thrown wide of the net by Joe Veleno. Now off the boards. Lane Hudson to the line. Not out. Vlasic is there. Rolled down low for Donato. Tried to center it for Veleno. He'll go into the far side. Swept away by Montreal. And pushed all the way out through center. 2-2 game. Shot 16-12 in favor of Chicago. And 10 to go in the second. Vlasic steps ahead to center and fires it in. Puck comes round the boards to the far corner. Matheson under pressure from Donato. Puck comes to the line. Rinzel holds it in. Connor Bedard off the wing. Back to the blue line. Works it over to Ryan Donato. Looks across in front for Wyatt Kaiser. That stop. Out to center. Here goes Slavkovsky. He is pursued by Sam Rinzel. Slavkovsky works it in. Suzuki with a shot, and that's turned away by Soderblom. Back out to center. Here come the Hawks. Mikheyev down the left side. 30 seconds to play. At the line, Mikheyev passes off the boards down low. Blackhawks try to work it around. Bedard lost the handle on it. And Slavkovsky brings it to center. Short pass for Nick Suzuki. Dropping off Caulfield. Over for Slavkovsky. Bobbled the pass. Delayed penalty, though, as Chicago touch it with 12.8 seconds remaining in the second.
Plenty of opportunity for the Canadiens here to get something set up. 12.8 seconds left, but Canadiens no doubt guilty in the last couple of moments here.
Chicago number 55, 2 minutes slashing.
of allowing Chicago to get some good looks on net. Sam Montembeault had to be real sharp, but on that last sequence, it was a pass from Caulfield over to Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky should have been able to catch that puck and deliver on net, but a slash comes in at the last moment, catches him on the top hand, and he just can't get it on.
So Levchinov goes off for Chicago. Habs to the power play, brought to you by Ford of Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Canadians are 0 for 2 on the night.
Demidov's going to slide back to the point.
Habs win the faceoff. Here's Lane Hudson. Back at the blue line. Over to Demidov. One-timer, that's stopped by Soderblom. Far side, Foligno along the boards. Has it tied up, but the Blackhawks rip it out through center ice to conclude the second period of play.
Well, it's another exciting period of hockey that we're seeing here at the Bell Center this evening. All eyes remain on Demidov, but Canadians are going to have to regroup as they realize that 20 minutes away from clinching a playoff berth is on the line.
Montreal will start the third period of play with 1:50, perhaps less on the power play. The only goal of the second belongs to Frank Nazar on the man advantage for Teuvo Teravainen and Sam Rinzel for the Chicago Blackhawks, who have clawed back to tie this game at 2 going to the third. We're going to a break, and on the other side of it, we will return with the intermission roundtable. The second intermission on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Campbell versus Gallo. Two Montrealers giving you everything you'd want in a local sports radio show. Sports? Check. Opinions and banter? Check. Knowledgeable insiders? Check. Homemade sound effects? Check. Campbell versus Gallo. Together. Weekdays from 10 till 2 on TSN 690.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
We all have the same goal: to be environmentally responsible. That's why Rio Tinto and the Montreal Canadiens are teaming up. We're replacing 1.5 million single-use plastic cups at the Bell Center with cups made with infinitely recyclable aluminum from Quebec. And the low-carbon aluminum we use for the cups is made by Rio Tinto right here in Quebec. It's a sustainability slapshot. To learn more, go to riotinto.com.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to La Cage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure: at La Cage, everyone's a fan.
Beer, chips, popcorn. Score big at your neighborhood Voisin without missing a second of the action. Stock up on game day essentials before the puck hits the ice at Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Voisin, whenever you need us.
Your date just asked for your Wi-Fi, but you have cable internet. Don't panic. Remain calm and reply with, "Darn, I forgot my password." Or, "The modem is at the shop." The modem shop. Or simply, "Internet. What's internet?"
Embarrassed by your internet? Just switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's most trusted internet. Visit bell.ca to check availability. Bell. Internet just got better.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Looking to update your home decor? Start with MF Paints. For your kitchen, living room, bathroom, patio, you'll want to paint it all. MF Paints, 100% Canadian-made paints and stains, preferred by professionals and DIYers alike. Available throughout Quebec at your local retailer.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Demidov in behind the net as well. And it's played right away to Nick Suzuki. He'll send that behind the net. Davidoff in front for Nick Suzuki. And that's put just wide of the net. Pressured by Wyatt Kaiser along the near side boards. Davidoff shakes him off in front. There's the shot for Carrier. That's turned aside as the Hawks clear it down the ice again.
That's a quiet $800.
Out in front, here's Teravainen, shot, and that goes off the crossbar. Back the other way, Davidoff streaking in, past the cross, that just missed the mark for Newhook. Blackhawks win the faceoff. Far side comes through, Nazar with a shot, and he scores. Frank Nazar with a bullet, 6 seconds into the Chicago power play. He has tied this game at 2. Merci.
Welcome into the second intermission roundtable here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. After that first period went totally bananas in the Ivan Demidov show, a little bit more of a quiet second period for the Montreal Canadiens as the Chicago Blackhawks came out and said, we're ready to make this a game. Habs outshot in that period by the Hawks, outshot again by the Blackhawks overall 17-14 as the Canadiens and Chicago tied 2-2 after 40 minutes. Just a reminder, the Canadiens need to win outright this game. A point does not get them into the postseason. 2 points enough to get the Canadiens their first postseason berth since 2020-2021. I'm John Still with Victor Finley. And Victor, a little bit of a cooling off there in the second period for the Canadiens, at least not necessarily for Ivan Demidov, as he continues to be someone who was making all kinds of things happen for the Canadiens in that second. But I think after 40 minutes, you got to give a lot of credit to Chicago, who in that second period just came out and said, it's ours.
Oh, this has been a great game. As a play-by-play guy, I love this. It's young kids flying around, missing some D-zone coverage, but guys are trying to make plays tonight. You know, that's what I like so much about this game. There's a little bit of creativity. We've seen that from Davidoff. We're seeing it from Slavkovsky a little bit tonight. We're certainly seeing it from some of the young kids on Chicago. I've really been impressed with Frank Nazar's game and Sam Renzel. So I love this. This is what new age hockey looks like, I think, for me. And it's play-by-play guy's dream. But I think if you're looking at it from a more serious analytical perspective, for sure, for Montreal, I would think they're getting caught up a little bit in the emotion of the game right now, right? And there's such an amazing buzz right now to this building. It's really incredible for a regular season game. Granted, it does have a lot of meaning, and obviously there's a huge Demidov factor with it all today as well. But man, it just feels like they've been a little bit caught up in that, and it's been a little bit sloppy in their own zone. And this is a Chicago team, like I said in the pregame. There's so many young guys here that are trying to prove themselves. This is not mail it in, let's get the season over. It'll be out in Ottawa tomorrow, and then it's over. That's not what it's like for these guys right now. They're playing to win. They're playing to impress, and there's a lot of kids that look confident enough to try and make a play if they're given that opportunity tonight.
Lots of Chicago players kind of left alone in the slot by the Canadiens in that second period, and luckily by a combination of the crossbar and the post and Sam Montembeault, it is not a 3-2 for Chicago after 40 minutes. As the Canadiens, they'll be on the power play to start this third period, which will be huge for the Habs. Then again, the power play, not particularly great for the Canadiens of late. Patrick Laine nearly getting his team in all kinds of trouble on a 2-on-1 after making a play at the blue line late in the second power play of the game for the Habs there. Is it just the same thing that we're seeing from the Canadiens at 5-on-5, Victor? Can't remember the last time the Canadiens went over 25 shots on goal, and they're looking like it again. It is just a lot of overpassing by the Canadiens, not just at 5-on-5, but on the man advantage.
Yeah, I think what you'd like to see with the power play is that it's just a little bit more direct right now, a little bit more decisive. I don't think the power play has been that terrible. You know, I think the numbers are not pretty. They've got 2 power play goals, which were in the same game in one of their last 12 games. Not good numbers, but every power play does go through a dry stretch, and this is albeit not the greatest timing for Montreal to go through something like that. But I thought they had some great looks the other night against Toronto, and I do think it's only a matter of time before this power play gets a bit of a breakthrough again. But we also see, too, late in that period, Marty St. Louis puts Ivan Demidov on that power play right at the end. I don't know if we'll see Caulfield back out in that spot again to start the third period here, but bit of a sign there of working the hot hand into the top unit to maybe try and shake things up a little bit. So obviously Marty St. Louis has seen a couple things here that either he doesn't like or just feels like the power play needed a bit of a shake-up, maybe a bit of a different look there to try and get something going. But I do think it's only a matter of time before the Habs start to find some success on the power play again.
40 minutes, and we got to ask you your first viewing of Ivan Demidov. I would venture to say that it is not a stretch to say that he's been the Canadiens' best forward tonight, which is shocking considering it's his first game in the National Hockey League. But outside of the goal and the assist, what has really stood out for you?
Same play as we saw in the KHL from Demidov. He is a playmaker, and it looks pretty eager to pass tonight. I think this, not to be Mr. Negativity here, but I think at some point we're going to be sitting here saying, well, Demidov really needs to shoot the puck a little bit more. But leave it.
That'll come.
That will come. We're not going to get there tonight because he's doing everything else exceptionally well. He is a playmaker first. I think he's always going to be a pass-first player, but you can see it tonight. He is difficult to catch. It doesn't look like it's going to matter that there is less time in this league because it's just a faster league than it is in the KHL. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a bigger or stronger league than it is in the KHL, and he's been dealing with that all year. He's not the biggest kid, but he's also not a tiny kid either, right? But it looks like he's done a really nice job all season long of finding ways to be elusive, right? And shake players off, be unpredictable. He looks unpredictable out there. And obviously, Lane Hutson started this year completely unpredictable for a lot of teams. They made an adjustment. He made a counter adjustment to have the success that he's had recently for Montreal. The same will happen with Demidov. There will be a counter adjustment as teams get a bit of a book on him, and then he will have to make another adjustment on top of that. But from all I've seen, from all I know, I think he'll be just fine. Really strong first impression for me tonight.
Quiet first 40 minutes, for Lane Hutson. We'll see if he can do something about that in the third period. Victor, thank you.
Thank you, John.
That is it for the second intermission roundtable here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. Canadiens and Blackhawks tied 2-2. Habs need to win outright to book their spot in the postseason for the first time in 4 years. Coming up next, your out-of-town scoreboard here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
$1 wings, $1 wings, $1 wings. Boston Pizza has the ultimate lineup. During every Montreal game this season, our wings are only $1 each at Boston Pizza. Come in for some delicious wings, an ice-cold Molson, and a great game. Now that's a winning trio. Visit bostonpizza.com to find a Boston Pizza near you and reserve your table. Boston Pizza is the place to be. See details in restaurant.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Skip is back. Oh, yeah, baby! And now it's time to take your shot. Face off against family and friends and see if you can predict this year's playoffs. Can you pick the perfect bracket and claim the ultimate prize? A trip to a 2025-26 NHL event. Sign up today for a chance to win exclusive prizes at nhl.com/bracket.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
When things start heating up on the ice, count on Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling to keep the temperature comfortable in every zone of your home.
Mitsubishi Electric, official heating and cooling partner of the Montreal Canadiens and your partner in home comfort since 1987.
Your date just asked for your Wi-Fi, but you have cable internet. Don't panic. Remain calm and reply with, "Darn, I forgot my password." Or, "The modem is at the shop." The modem shop. Or simply, "Internet. What's internet?"
Embarrassed by your internet? Just switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's most trusted internet. Visit bell.ca to check availability. Bell. Internet just got better.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome into your out-of-town scoreboard here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network. Canadiens and Hawks tied 2-2 after 40 minutes. Again, a gentle reminder not to cause you any more undue anxiety this evening. The Canadiens need to win outright to book their spot in the playoffs, as they need 2 points. 1 point going overtime will not do for the Canadiens. Columbus Blue Jackets in action tomorrow night, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Elsewhere around the National Hockey League, your out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by CM Textiles, experts in motorization and wireless technology, 4 stunning showrooms for you to visit. Do it once and do it right with CM Textiles. The Dallas Stars rebounding in the second period, 2 unanswered over the Red Wings. They have a 3-2 lead going into the third. The Rangers side 3-3 with the Panthers. Sam Reinhart with 2 goals for the Cats in that one. End of 20 minutes between Utah and the Predators. The Hockey Club have a 2-1 lead over Nashville. In just about an hour's time, it is going to be a preview of the first round between the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers, as that one going down from Alberta. And Macklin Celebrini makes his return to British Columbia with the San Jose Sharks as they take on the Vancouver Canucks just after 10 o'clock tonight. An anxious third period is around the corner. The Montreal Canadiens, they've got the Ivan Demidov points. Now they need the victory as the Habs and Hawks tied 2-2 after 40 minutes. Third period coming up next here on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
There's nothing like Hockey Night in Montreal. See the Habs live at the Bell Center and be part of the NHL's most electric atmosphere. Don't miss out on the action. Visit Canadiens.com/tickets today.
Bell Pure Fiber is the technology you need for high-performance applications. It leverages light signals transmitted through optical fiber. It's capable of providing huge bandwidth, super low latency, and it's immune to electromagnetic interference.
Basically what he means is, it's incredibly fast internet. Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla. Get 500 for $70 per month. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
Beer, chips, popcorn. Score big at your neighborhood Voisin without missing a second of the action. Stock up on game day essentials before the puck hits the ice at Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Voisin, whenever you need us.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Welcome back inside Bell Center, about 40 seconds away from puck drop in a huge period number 3 for the Montreal Canadiens. Victor Finlay with JP O'Connor on the call this evening. This game is tied at 2. JP, a sympathy point in overtime or a shootout does not suffice for the Habs tonight. It is win or bust. Win, and you are in to the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Canadians are going to have to pull out all the stops then, aren't they, Victor, with that on the table. The key here is that they remain smart, be a smart defensive club here, take full advantage of opportunities. We've seen the Canadians be opportunistic, and they might be able to do that against a Chicago Blackhawks team who have been dreadful in third periods. They're being outscored by 38 goals in the third. 109 for opponents, 71 for the Hawks. So Canadians, be patient. They might be able to find one here, but when they do, they're going to have to capitalize.
Stage is set, and here we go for the third period of action. Canadians on the power play to start for 1:40. Suzuki fires it into the Blackhawk zone. Puck comes all the way back out through center ice. Lane Hudson hustles back for it. It's the usual suspects on the top power play unit again for Montreal. Caulfield, Suzuki, Laine, Slavkovsky, and Hudson. Here goes Hudson through center. Crossing in over the blue line. Hands off to Laine. Up top, Slavkovsky. Down the wing. Near side. This is stolen away by Foligno. Got it out to center. Caulfield passes over to Laine, who wrists it in around the boards. Was all the way over past Caulfield. Foligno out to center. Down the far side on Hudson. Tries a long-range shot. Gloved down by Montembeault. Foligno skates right to the crease to force Montembeault to hang on.
Well, it's a smart play by Foligno, and he knows he's not going to have a scoring opportunity from there, but at least get the position that you want. I'm really impressed with Foligno's game this evening. He's been a physical presence. We saw him fly in on Gooley earlier on when he took Moore and buried him into the boards, and that's the type of captain's game you want to see, but Foligno has had a good year again this year. He's got one more left on his contract with Chicago.
Yeah, already 37 years of age. Foligno's still got a lot of good hockey in him by the looks of it. As Mike Matheson goes in behind his own net, 48 seconds to go, and the Montreal man advantage. Short pass to center. Gallagher in on the far side. Here goes Demidov. Passes over Newhook with a shot. That's stopped by Soderblom. Back to the near side. Demidov throws it around toward the point. Gallagher down to the far corner. Newhook for Suzuki. Back over to Newhook. On the right side, Newhook steps in. Passes down low. Demidov. 19 seconds on the power play. Newhook out in front for Gallagher. He fans on the shot, and it comes out to center for Mike Matheson. Turning around, Matheson feeds it off to Nick Suzuki. Gallagher spilled as he crossed the line.
Got a high stick.
No penalty on the play. Gallagher at the point, moves it across, far side, Demidov with a rip, that just missed. Levshinov steps out of the box for Chicago. We are 5-on-5 again. Demidov far side, puck is taken away by Slaggert, out to center, here goes Nazar. Skating in, shoots it around the boards. Right side, Slaggert toward the blue line for Louis Crevier. He's got the puck, rips it right off of Demidov. And the Canadiens will start ahead to center. Mike Matheson lost it as Crevier carries it back in. Crevier passes over for Donato. Blocker save made by Montembeault.
Pretty good release with Donato in the high slot. Montembeault had to be sharp with his blocker.
Now Jake Evans works it ahead to center ice. This is gloved down by feet. In goes Bedard right wing. Played back toward the net. That's handled by Matheson. Into the corner. Puck rolls around for Laine. Back to Carrier for Matheson. Swings that ahead to center ice. Back into the Montreal zone. Matheson works it around the boards, past Kapanen, down the ice, and this will go for icing.
Well, it's an unfortunate bounce for Mike Matheson. That's the right play that he makes as he recovers back into his zone. The puck is in the far right corner, and he knows he's got to make it past at least one of the four checking Blackhawks along the wall. So he hammers this puck, and it just takes an awkward bounce off the glass, and it splits the defenseman all the way down past Soderblom. Comes right back into the Canadiens' end for this faceoff. Jake Evans out to take it.
Face-off, glove hand side on Sam Montembeault. Frank Nazar in to take it against Jake Evans. Canadiens handle it off the face-off. It's flipped out through center by Matheson. Down the ice goes Wyatt Kaiser. Over to Artem Levshinov. To the neutral zone. Levshinov throws it in wide of the net. Goes over to Hudson. Far side out of the Montreal zone. Gallagher rolls it to center for Dvorak, crossing the line. Dvorak up the middle. High shot stopped by Soderblom. Blackhawks back the other way. Karavainen looks to pass off. That's broken up. Montreal play it to center. Gallagher gloves it down. Got blocked there by Josh Anderson.
It looked like it was an offside to me.
It was almost offside. That's what I was wondering there. JP comes back over to the near side for Murphy.
Look out.
Green passes out across. It's deflected by Lane Hudson. 10 rows high. Out of play.
Well, as we move along here in the third period, just about 4 minutes gone. It's important to realize for Chicago, they'll be here this evening, down to Ottawa tomorrow, and that is it. They will be packing up the bags. So there's nothing to really lose here. So you can expect the Hawk players to know that they've got limited time left. They've only got 4 periods as it stands now. They're going to go for it. They're not going to worry about minuses. They're happy to take chances to beat season records for the Canadiens.
Habs come out to center ice. Here's Nick Suzuki. Backhands it into the Chicago zone. Goes after it behind the net. Far side, Slavkovsky wrapped up by Green. It goes back to the blue line for Savard. Looking for Caulfield. That missed. Suzuki down low. Passes over. Near side in the Chicago zone. Foligno handles it. Puck gets loose behind the net. Nudged aside, though, by Alex Vlasic. Blackhawks on the breakout. Here goes Oliver Moore through center ice. Into the attacking zone. Far side. Moore hits the brakes. Now he'll cycle it around the boards. Bouncing over to Louis Crevier. And it's taken away by Montreal. Caulfield handles it. 15-16 to go in the third. We are tied at 2. Shots 20-16 in favor of Chicago. Here goes Demidov down the left side through center. Lifts it in. Habs in on the forecheck. Blackhawks play it around to the far side, and they'll come out to center. Newhook on the back check. Strips it away.
There's the defensive support that you're looking for the Canadiens. It allows Hudson to get up ice.
Now Yoel Armia through center. Back to the far side. Jumping in is Lane Hudson. He's driven into the corner by Connor Murphy. Side of the net. Demidov tried to center. Couldn't get it through. Now passes back to the blue line. Hudson collects the puck. Back over to Demidov, far side. Across at the line for Lane Hudson. Back to Demidov. Tries the shot. That's blocked off a foot. And Chicago return through center ice. Up the middle. Reichel with a shot, and he scores! Lucas Reichel gets in free. Off the breakaway. Puts it home on Sam Montembeault. And 3 unanswered goals have put Chicago on top 3-2.
Well, it all starts with a blocked shot, doesn't it? As the puck gets fed back to Demidov at the point. Blocked shot makes it out to Slaggert, who's impressed me all evening with his acceleration through the neutral zone. And then a deft little pass into space for Reichel, who's a late addition into the lineup this evening. And he manages to bag his 8th of the season, a very important one for Chicago as they look to be the spoilers with the Canadiens this evening.
17th overall pick back in 2020 out of Germany. Played in Berlin. His uncle Robert Reichel is in the Czech Hockey Hall of Fame. Comes from a great hockey family. And that is a crucial goal here as Montreal back on the attack in the Chicago zone. This is taken away by Wyatt Kaiser. So it's Reichel from Slaggert and Green, who gets his first NHL point on the secondary assist at 5:39 of the third period. Blackhawks through center. Bedard passing off to Ryan Donato. Near side boards tied up with Mike Matheson. Puck is loose in the corner. Taken away by Carrier. Works it ahead out to center. But Mikheyev handles it for Chicago. Loose puck is picked up by Gallagher. Taken away now by Donato. Chips it in from center. 13:28 to go. Chicago in front, 3-2. Still plenty of time for Montreal. You've not lost in regulation since Super Bowl weekend at home. Sam Renzel behind his own net. Plays it around the near side boards. Kapanen gets it down low into the corner. Comes out in front. All the way to the far side for Patrick Laine. Tyler Bertuzzi picks it up. Passes that over. Here goes Frank Nazar down the far side on Hudson. The shot is stopped by Montembeault. And there's no rebound on the doorstep.
There's another opportunity for the Hawks as Nazar collects that puck, and it's the acceleration that's so impressive. A little bit of a chip shot comes in on Montembeault. Doesn't get tons on it, but Montembeault had his hands full with that save.
Blackhawks continue to put on the pressure here. They lead 3-2 thanks to Lucas Reichel's 8th goal of the year on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Montreal Canadiens is expressly prohibited.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
There's nothing like Hockey Night in Montreal. See the Habs live at the Bell Center and be part of the NHL's most electric atmosphere. Don't miss out on the action. Visit Canadiens.com/tickets today.
Bell Pure Fiber is the technology you need for high-performance applications. It leverages light signals transmitted through optical fiber. It's capable of providing huge bandwidth, super low latency, and it's immune to electromagnetic interference.
Basically what he means is, it's incredibly fast internet. Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla. Get 500 for $70 per month. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
We'll go back inside Bell Center. 12:58 to go in the third. Scores 3-2 Chicago now. A bit of a nervous energy in the building. Habs need a win tonight to guarantee a playoff spot. This is game 81 of 82 in the NHL's regular season. As we battle for it deep in the Montreal zone, here's Mike Matheson. Takes it away, off the board, through center ice, picked by Connor Murphy. Habs have 10 come from behind third period victories this season. Tied for first in the NHL as Montembeault throws this away behind the net. It's caught by Tyler Bertuzzi to the blue line. Louis Crevier off to Bertuzzi, back to Crevier, tries a shot, deflects wide of the net. Far side, Nazar passes across off the glass, and backtracking to center is Crevier, who shoots it in. All 10 of the third period comebacks for Montreal have been from down one goal. As the Habs set it up in their own zone, Carrier on the breakout to center. Here goes Gallagher, far side with Josh Anderson. Into the corner it goes with Sam Rinzel out in front. Back to the line now. Here's Lane Hudson with a shot. That got through. Soderblom makes the save. Gooley from the point. Throws it down low. Anderson to the far wing. Mikheyev is there and he chops it out through center ice. Now Hudson, right back down the left side for Brendan Gallagher. But to move that toward the net, that's cut off by Sam Rinzel. Now here goes Bedard down the far side, drops it off. Donato with a shot. Blocker save made by Montembeault. Back out in front again. Here's Bedard, throws that one wide, glove hand side. Back to the point, Levshinov. Out in front, that's tipped wide by Donato. Back to the point, Kaiser. Levshinov, back over to Kaiser. Donato far side, switching with Connor Bedard. Good stick from Anderson, knocks that away from Bedard as the puck gets swung out to center ice.
I've been seeing Chicago taking advantage of the Canadiens last two periods, pulling people high up to the blue line. Canadiens just can't get it sorted out.
Near side, Montreal zone. Foligno tries to hold it in. Tied up along the boards here with Patrick Laine and now Oliver Moore. This is fished away by Newhook. Sprinting ahead to center. Good play by Levshinov. Now here goes Patrick Laine down the left wing. Back to Newhook. Shot well wide of the net as Davidoff steps onto the ice. Far side, attacking zone. It's played back to center by Foligno. And now Jaden Struble, deep in his own zone. Rips it out through center ice. Puck rolling into Chicago's territory. They do call this icing with 10:19 remaining in the third.
Well, it's been the Ivan Demidov show this evening, but we've talked about Levshinov on the back end for Chicago going number 2 overall in the 2024 draft, and I've been really impressed with him. And it kind of reminds me a little bit, that right-hand shot. We saw David Jiricek a couple of years ago being drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets, and most recently he's been traded. But when I saw him at first in Cleveland in the American League, everything went through him. Really impressive player.
Chicago on the attack here off the face-off. It's taken away by Struble. Played out through center ice. into the Chicago zone. Murphy sweeps it over to Crevier, near side. Slager back to center, corralled by Newhook, and he'll throw it into the far side. Murphy back over, near side, up to center ice. This is chipped in by Joe Veleno. He follows Matheson in behind the net with a hard hit on the forecheck. And now Chicago forced the turnover. Here's Bertuzzi. Far side, goes back toward the line. Teuvo Teravainen passes over to Sam Rinzel, right side. Played down low, comes over to Carrier. Back around to the far side. Slavkovsky is tied up with Alex Vlasic. Canadians break free. Played to center by Demidov. As it goes harmlessly into the Chicago zone. Blackhawks with possession. Here's Vlasic. 9:08 to go in the third. 3-2 Chicago lead. Side of the net, Montembeault for Montreal. Shoots it off the boards. Here goes Suzuki down the left wing. Dropping it back for Caulfield off the boards. Broken up and does not get out to center ice. That's held in by Gooley. Now Chicago skated through the neutral zone. Bedard crossing into the slot. Stops. And he's stripped of the puck by Juraj Slavkovsky. Far side, Slavkovsky backhands it to the line. Glove down by Kaiser. Now here's a feed for Donato. Goes to the far side. Tries his shot. Just missed the net. Bedard plays it around the boards. Oliver Moore jams it around to the right side for Bedard. Sharp angle shot. Missed that one high. And it comes out to center for Kaiser. Makes a good play to keep it away from Anderson. As Montreal regroup in their own end.
How many times have we seen Bedard score from that angle?
Here goes Lane Hudson driving in. Centers. No shot. Back to the slot. There's a try from Struble. That's stopped in front. Back to the line. Lane Hudson with it. Walks across the blue line. Looks for the lane. That goes off a body. And Chicago back to center. Green moves it ahead. This is taken away, though, by Struble. Hudson sweeps it back around in his own zone. Shots 23-17 Chicago. 7:45 to go. 3-2. Blackhawks lead. Here goes Demidov down the left side. Tries the shot. Not stopped by Soderblom. And Chicago go back to center ice. Lucas Reichel over the line. Left side. Centers in front for Schlagert off the backhand. Can't get that to go. Now Reichel tied up by Struble. Back to the blue line. Crevier passes across. Murphy fans on the shot. Demidov far side. Passes through the middle for Newhook. Darts in over the line. Newhook with Laine driving down low. Floats the puck over to the far side. Again taken away by Chicago out to center. Slager plays it across. Near side. Here's Cole Caulfield. Steps in. Moves it right over to Juraj Slavkovsky. Back for Suzuki. One-timer. Stopped by Soderblom. Now back behind the net. Slavkovsky. Far side. Suzuki drops it back. Here's Carrier at the line. That shot carries wide. Teravainen now. Starts ahead to center. Passes through for Nazar. That's tipped in. Nazar. Right side corner with Carrier. Nazar wins the battle. Carries it down low. All the way out to the far side. Thrown wide to the net. Not in front. Bertuzzi can't tip it home. Had a wide open cage on Sam Montembeault. Just didn't have the angle. And Montreal remained down by just one. We'll step aside here. 6:28 to go. 3-2 Chicago on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, Essor Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, Essor Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, Essor Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit essor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Back inside the Bell Center, 6:28 to go in the third. 3-2 Chicago. JP, the Habs are looking for something here offensively.
Well, I think what you're seeing right now is a team who's looking for a perfect play, and we've seen a lot of pace come out of their game. The Canadiens are skating pucks into position rather than passing pucks into position, and you can't fault them. The desperation is there, but I do think that you have to take this opportunity right now and recognize the only perfect play is the one that you're going to be picking out of the back of the Chicago's net. That's going to be the perfect play. Doesn't matter how it gets there. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It's got to get to the net. There's got to be bodies there. They've got to take advantage of it and accept that it's not going to take 9 passes to get there. It might just be a lucky one going on net that Soderblom bobbles.
Face-off in the Montreal zone to the glove hand side of Sam Montembeault. Nazar's in for the face-off. He's been great tonight for Chicago. He'll square off here against Christian Dvorak, who wins this draw for Montreal. Matheson floats it to center, bouncing around on Kaiser. He makes a good play to get it ahead to Nazar, who shoots it in. Now powered around the boards by Carrier. Canadians to center. Here's Anderson under pressure, forces it down the left side. Gallagher down low, turns around in front. Anderson was tied up. Chicago take it away. Teravainen down the left side. Into the Montreal zone, throws it wide of the net. Near side. Tyler Bertuzzi picks it up. Pinned up along the end boards by Caden Gooley. Just killing time here for Chicago. Habs trying to dig it free. Out in front, and this pass intended for Bedard goes all the way down the ice. Alex Vlasic hurries back for it. Now Sam Rinzel. Back out to center. Knocked into the Montreal zone. 5.5 to play. Matheson throws it over for Juraj Slavkovsky. Back to the near side. Goulet mishandles it. Blackhawks shoot it to the blue line. They'll get it right back at their own. Mikheyev can't handle it. And Slavkovsky rips it in from center. Soderblom out to play it behind the net. Cuts it off. Thrown back up the near side. Slavkovsky on the forecheck. Habs take it away. Caulfield bounces it down low. Far side boards. Carrier moving in with it. Tried to center for Caulfield. Loose in front for a moment. Quickly swept to the far side. Habs set it up. Down low. Slavkovsky looking for Carrier off the boards. Back behind the net it goes. Caulfield for Slavkovsky. With Suzuki out in front. Slavkovsky opts to go back to the blue line for Carrier. Now to Slavkovsky, far side, throws it to the net, right at Alex Vlasic. And he'll shovel this all the way down the ice. Montembeault forced to play it with Donato having the angle there. He would have won that race. Now Demidov at his own end. 1 goal, 1 assist already tonight for Demidov. See if there's any more magic left. Now here goes Laine down the wing. Swept away by Louis Crevier. In behind the net. Demidov fans on it. Tried to play it around the boards. Newhook under pressure. Chicago take it away. Here's Connor Murphy.
Those are the one-on-one battles you have to win at this time of the game. It's a 50-50 puck. You have to come out first.
Back to center ice. Here goes Alex Newhook. With speed over the line. Tries the shot off the stick of Connor Murphy. Wide of the net. Murphy, Newhook going behind the net. There's going to be a penalty against Chicago with 3:48 remaining in the third. And the door is left open for Montreal to tie this game.
Number 5, Chicago, minor penalty for holding.
So Murphy to the box. Habs to their biggest power play of the season when we return to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
$1 wings, $1 wings, $1 wings. Boston Pizza has the ultimate lineup. During every Montreal game this season, our wings are only $1 each at Boston Pizza. Come in for some delicious wings, an ice-cold Molson, and a great game. Now that's a winning trio. Visit bostonpizza.com to find a Boston Pizza near you and reserve your table. Boston Pizza is the place to be. See details in restaurant.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Skip is back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And now it's time to take your shot. Face off against family and friends. And see if you can predict this year's playoffs.
Shoots and scores.
Can you pick the perfect bracket and claim the ultimate prize? A trip to a 2025-26 NHL event. Sign up today for a chance to win exclusive prizes at nhl.com/bracket.
Craving great food, big games, and an unbeatable atmosphere? Head to LaCage. Whether you're here for the wings or the wins, or to have a good time, one thing's for sure. At LaCage, everyone's a fan.
When things start heating up on the ice, count on Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling to keep the temperature comfortable in every zone of your home.
Mitsubishi Electric, official heating and cooling partner of the Montreal Canadiens and your partner in home comfort since 1987.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. Habs on the power play, presented by Ford of Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. 3-2 the score for Chicago. 3:48 to play in the third. Connor Murphy is in the box as the Habs are 0 for 3 on the man advantage so far tonight, looking for a game tire.
Alex Newhook with a burst of speed down the middle of the ice, trying to get in on a puck, and Murphy just kind of gets tangled up with him. Maybe not the best call of the evening, but the Canadians want to take full advantage of this. Nick Suzuki is going to get kicked out of this draw. Patrick Laine, the other right-hander, will slide in to take it.
He'll square off against Nick Foligno. False start for Foligno. He gets tossed. So Ilya Mikheyev against Patrick Laine. And Laine wins it back. Here's Lane Hudson. Laine, far side, tries a shot. That's blocked by Vlasic and ricochets out to center ice. Hudson recovers, passes over to Caulfield. Far side, shoots it in, around the boards. Out into the slot, Slavkovsky for Lane Hudson at the point. Laine left side. Zips it right back across for Suzuki. Far side, Suzuki up top for Lane Hudson. Back over to Nick Suzuki. Tries the shot. Another block by Alex Vlasic. Left side hash marks now. Laine. Down low for Slavkovsky. Far side. Caulfield out of his feet. Pressured by Vlasic. Pushed right into Suzuki. Gets it over anyways for Lane Hudson. Up the middle. Hudson passes off. Shot. As it trickles across the line. And Montreal have tied the game on the power play.
Couldn't have scripted this finish up any better for the Canadians. It's Cole Caulfield along the wall, keeps the puck alive. Looks like he's going to get hemmed in, but ends up getting it out to Hudson. Hudson right down the top of the crease. Everybody collapses to the net looking for Hudson to shoot that puck, and he kicks it out to Caulfield. It's on his stick, off his stick, and right over the line just in time before Soderblom reaches back.
That's going to be Slavkovsky's goal. It goes right off his leg in front. His 18th of the year from Caulfield and Hudson. And the Montreal Canadiens have tied the game. 2:52 to go. Habs have iced it from center. That is another historic assist for Lane Hudson. 65 points on the year. Sets a new Habs record for points by a rookie defenseman, surpassing Chris Chelios' own record of 64. Rather appropriately does it against one of Chris Chelios' former teams, the Chicago Blackhawks. Back to center ice. 2:45 to go. Gallagher near side, taken away by Kaiser. Played down the wing, Bertuzzi shoots it in. Back around the boards it comes. Dvorak behind the net. Into the corner. Teravainen down low, out in front for Nazar. That just missed. All the way down the ice it goes. Soderblom passes off to Rinzel. Here goes Alex Vlasic now out of his own zone. Tipped in by Ilya Mikheyev. Near side, Matheson powers it round the boards. Slavkovsky over to Nick Suzuki. Skating in far side. Suzuki can't curve it to the net. He goes hard into the end boards with Alex Vlasic.
Slow to get up, Suzuki.
Now Mikheyev, far side, drops it for Sam Rinzel. Works it in. Good stick by Carrier. Breaks it up. Back over to the near corner. Rinzel passes back behind the net. Mikheyev to Rinzel. Fires it across for Connor Bedard. Cycle down low for Ryan Donato. Carries up the far wing. Rips it round the boards. Right over for Rinzel. Rolls that behind the net. Mikheyev out in front. Just missed Ryan Donato. Now Connor Bedard high in the slot. Skates over to the far side. Bedard pressured by Jake Evans. Off the boards, down low, no one there for Chicago, and Cole Caulfield will lob it ahead. Chopped out of the air by Jake Evans all the way down the ice. 1:07 to go. Tie game 3-3. Habs into their own zone. Gooley passes over. Demidov to center. That's cut off by Foligno, who shoots it right back in. Right side, Slaggert into the corner with Veleno. Joe Veleno behind the net. Passes off the board to the line. Crevier shot off a body and wide.
Oh, it hurt Hudson net front. Cut that one at the ankle.
36 seconds to go. Slaggert at center. Plays it in front of the Montreal bench. Rolled in by Nick Foligno. Blackhawks changing. Here's Veleno in on the forecheck. Gooley behind his own net. Passing off far side. Habs out through center. Here goes Gallagher, far wing. He's tied up. 10 seconds to play in the third. Anderson far side. Works the puck loose. 5 seconds left. Hudson goes behind the net. And the Montreal Canadiens have come back once again to secure at least a point. And on this night, 1 point will not be enough to secure a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Habs needed a win of any kind, and they can still get one here in overtime to send them to the playoffs.
Certainly desperation times for the Canadiens as they find that last goal. It was a little bit of an unusual bounce, wasn't it, as Hudson kicks that puck out to Caulfield. It looked at first like it had just pinballed, but as we get the replay, we see that Slavkovsky does in fact get a touch on that puck, and with that, he equals his point total from last year at 50.
Just put the Lane Hudson record right up now on the big screen. That gets a standing ovation from this Montreal crowd.
Something to keep an eye out on as well, Victor. Nick Suzuki looks to be okay, but did take a pretty heavy tumble into the boards. Don't know if it was his shoulder or maybe even his knee. Awkward as it was. Got up very slowly, head back to the bench, and he's out just kind of loosening up. Looks to be okay, but a scary moment for the captain.
So, Montreal in overtime, a place they've been many times this year. They were 8-7 in 3-on-3 overtimes, 2-3 in shootouts. Chicago, just 2-7 in overtime this year, 1-4 in shootouts. Philip Kurashev, who is not in the lineup tonight, and Connor Bedard have the overtime winners this year for the Blackhawks. Suzuki with 5 overtime winners for Montreal. Does he have a 6th left? Next goal wins this game, and for Montreal, secures a spot in the playoffs.
Looks like Suzuki's okay as he takes the ice, coming out with Christian Dvorak, who's had a strong night in the face-off circle. He'll take this draw, no doubt. 11 for 16, and his teammate and captain out in the ice, Nick Suzuki, is the only player on the ice who's had a better night. 76.9%, 10 for 13 on the evening.
Martin St. Louis has some tools to work with here in overtime, doesn't he? Caulfield on the bench, Hudson on the bench, and of course, do we see Ivan Demidov in 3-on-3 this evening in his NHL debut. Let's go to center ice. Frank Nazar to face off against Christian Dvorak. Having some trouble here getting it right, and they finally drop the puck as Montreal will start with possession. Nazar is on the ice with Vlasic and Bedard for Chicago. It's Dvorak, Suzuki, and Matheson. Now Caulfield jumps onto the ice in place of Christian Dvorak. Caulfield, far side, carries in. Slows down, passes back to the line. Matheson will dive out to center ice. Here goes Nick Suzuki off the drop pass. Crossing over the Chicago line. He's pushed back to center and roll it all the way to Sam Montembeault. Chicago change. Teravainen steps on with Oliver Moore. Vlasic remains on the ice. Here goes Caulfield off the drop from Nick Suzuki. Lane Hudson now on the ice. Caulfield passes over. Far side. Suzuki steps in into the slot. Drops it. Here goes Lane Hudson racing around to the far side. Turns back at the line. Lane Hudson hits the brakes and falls. Oliver Moore gets back on it. He'll handle around in his own zone for Chicago. Moore drops it back. Demidov is on the ice for Montreal on 3-on-3 with Newhook and Lane Hudson. Here is Connor Bedard, deep in Chicago territory. Starts ahead to center. Connor Bedard over the line, up the middle. Settles it down. Push back out to center. Demidov follows him as Bedard passes off to Sam Rinzel. Rinzel to the far side in front. Frank Nazar tried to feed that off to Bedard. He'll take it off the boards. Bedard back out to center. Picks up momentum. Bit of a bobble there from Newhook as Bedard skates in up the middle now for Rinzel. Good stick from Newhook. Smothers the shot. And now here's Demidov at center. Almost had the breakaway. It's cut off by Nazar. Back down the ice. Drops it. Here's Connor Bedard at the blue line. Rinzel with the shot. That's stopped by Montembeault. Comes out to center. Demidov. It's been a long shift. He needs a change, and he'll throw it back to Lane Hudson.
That's a smart play. You could easily rack that puck up the ice, but you get fresh bodies on. Plenty of time left here in OT.
Lane Hudson slowly to center. He'll drop it back for Jake Evans. Stretch pass. Misses Mike Matheson, goes in behind the Chicago net. Matheson plays it around. He's dunked in the corner. No call. Laine back into Montreal territory with 2 minutes to go in overtime. Laine in on the right side with a wrister. Blocker save made by Soderblom. Teuvo Teravainen slowly to center ice. Handled over for Ilya Mikheyev. Played back around the boards in the Chicago zone. Here goes Mikheyev ahead to center, picking up speed. Mikheyev left side, in on Laine. Laine lost an edge. Mikheyev passes back to the line. Teravainen throws it across. Artem Leifshinov with it now. He'll go back out to center. Not many opportunities here in overtime so far. Just a minute 13 left in it. Bedard back on the ice for Chicago. Will turn out to center ice. He's followed by Caulfield. Now Alex Vlasic picks it up. He'll turn back from his own end. Passing over to Connor Bedard. Speed down the far side. Bedard through the middle. Trying to drop it back for Vlasic. It's taken away by Cole Caulfield. Far side. Good stick from Vlasic as he fishes the puck away and kills the chance.
Just excellent reach.
Now Caulfield right back on it. Tried to feed it up the middle. That's stolen by Bedard. Vlasic to center. Turns it around for Connor Bedard. Slowly over the Montreal blue line. Chicago are changing. Bedard by himself. Stick handles down low. Tried the Michigan. Couldn't get the puck on his blade. Back up top. Bedard leaves it at the line for Ryan Donato. 20 seconds to play in OT. Sam Rinzel out in front. Missed Donato with the pass. He'll take it off the boards. Up top. Pass finds Connor Bedard. High in the slot. Stops. Connor Bedard. Seconds winding down. Saucers off to Sam Rinzel. Under pressure. Turns around. Final seconds. Rinzel with a shot. Montembeault save at the buzzer. Sends us to a shootout.
Close play at the end. Canadians give that shot up so close as Rinzel turns on himself. Caulfield gets caught the wrong side of the puck, and Montembeault comes up with a season-saving blocker save.
Boy, this has been a dramatic one tonight, hasn't it?
Terrific game, though. Terrific game, and good to see the effort put in there by Chicago as their season is just about done, but they bring their A game this evening and find their way into overtime.
Habs need a win tonight to get into the playoffs. Well, what fun is there in winning 6-1 anyways? This game is tied at 3, and it will be decided in a shootout. As we mentioned, the Blackhawks have won just one shootout all year. The Habs have won 2. The last they had was on a Saturday night. Another crazy game back in March when they came all the way back in the third period to tie it from down 4-1 against Colorado. They lost that game in the shootout thanks to Brock Nelson. And once again, someone has a chance to step up, take the spotlight, and with it, bring the Montreal Canadiens into a playoff position with a shootout winner tonight. Well, JP, would you put Demidov out there?
I don't see why Marty St. Louis would not. It's not like you doubt the skill. It's not like you doubt the confidence. Caulfield and Suzuki will certainly go. But do you put 93 out?
It will be number 13 to start. Here is Cole Caulfield, 2 for 5 in shootouts this year. He will lead us off for round number 1. Caulfield in on the right side. Drifts up the middle. Caulfield is shot. And Soderblom makes this save. He shuts the door on the 5-hole.
Well, that's a patient play by Soderblom in his net. Caulfield's just looking for that space as he tries to get Soderblom to open the legs, but nothing doing.
Now Frank Nazar, who has a goal tonight. 11 on the season, 0 for 1 in shootouts this year. Nazar steps in over the line, lost the handle, gets it back and goes to the backhand, but flies it wide. And now Laine steps onto the ice. 2 for 3 this year in shootouts for Montreal. So Patrick Laine starts in from center ice. Right up the middle. Laine to the forehand and a crafty glove hand save made by Arvid Soderblom.
Well, Soderblom looked like he'd sniffed that puck out. He knew exactly what Laine wanted to do. Is a quick move at the end, brings it to his forehand, and just tries to slide it under the glove. But Soderblom was ready for it.
And Chicago looks to get ready here. We got a discussion over at the scorers table right now, JP. And Brendan Gallagher is a part of it for Montreal. And he's animated about something.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he's looking at right now, but he doesn't come over here by himself. He's going to be sent over by St. Louis.
Here's the announcement.
Chicago's previous shot, the puck went in the net. This is a goal.
Nazar backhander.
Wow, we thought it went wide of the net. But it turns out Frank Nazar has scored top shelf for Chicago.
Terrific move. It looked like he had lost the handle on it. I think the question right now is, if somebody else goes, does this come back? Is this reviewable?
And does Montreal
get their opportunity
get the shot
again?
back?
Exactly.
Right. You know, JP, I can't tell you I've ever seen a situation like this where it was not called a goal on the ice. We just saw the replay. There's no question about it. It gets lodged right behind the back bar.
The referees are looking for it right now. It's actually, it'll be behind Montembeault's bottle holder.
They can't find the puck.
Yeah, it's right up there.
And they finally dislodge it. So a phantom goal from Frank Nazar will count. And while we thought we had no goals through 3 shooters, it is in fact a 1-0 lead in the shootout for Chicago. And that's significant because Teuvo Teravainen, who is 4 for 5 this year, 10 for 25 in his career, can win this game for Chicago. Teravainen gets the green light. Carries in from center. Down the far side. Teravainen to the backhand. Flies it high. And there's no doubt about that one as the puck is behind the net.
Yep. Teravainen with a chance to ice it. Brings it to his backhand. And he tries to beat Montembeault over the glove. Just gets underneath it and he fires that up into the netting.
Nick Suzuki 0 for 4 in shootouts this year. Being called on again to try and inject some life into the Montreal Canadiens. Suzuki winding in from center. This is must score as he comes down the wing up the middle slowly to the backhand off the post on the line. It stays out. Missed it by an inch. And the Chicago Blackhawks take a 4-3 victory in the shootout.
Suzuki had him beat. Brings it to his backhand, and it's just a little bit of a tip off the pad up into the air, and for a moment it looked like that puck was going to have enough backspin on it to bring it over the line, but not the case. As everybody is leaving here in stunned silence, Canadians are going to have to do it on Wednesday against the Canes.
A remarkable debut tonight for Ivan Demidov, but the job remains unfinished for the Montreal Canadiens. The Columbus Blue Jackets need to win tomorrow to keep their playoff hopes alive. If they do, this could all come down to the final 2 days of the NHL's regular season. No shortage of drama in Montreal this week as the Chicago Blackhawks snap their 5-game losing skid and sweep the season series against the Montreal Canadiens. 4-2 at home, 4-3 on the road tonight. Here are the Molson 3 stars of the game.
3 stars. La troisième étoile, the 3rd star, Alex Vlasic. La deuxième étoile, the 2nd star, Frank Nazar. Et la première étoile, the 1st star, Ivan Demidov.
Not the result fans were hoping for tonight, but they certainly got what they wanted out of this kid. 19 years old, Ivan Demidov, 1 goal and 1 assist at his National Hockey League debut tonight. Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Tim Hortons, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Messieurs, nous vous remercions de votre présence ce soir.
Demidov is evidently on the ice. Ambitious pass from Matheson, trying to find him. Here's Demidov in front. He scores! Первый гол в НХЛ! Добро пожаловать в Montreal! First NHL goal for Ivan Demidov! And it's 2-0 Montreal! On Demidov, a goal that will not soon be forgotten tonight in Montreal. That made it 2-0, and from there, the Chicago Blackhawks would come back to make this a 3-2 game. Habs would tie it up, but ultimately drop this one in a shootout tonight. As we alluded to earlier, we're back here Wednesday night. It is the Montreal Canadiens and the